Hello, Internet! We are live here with StoryCrafters. This is a collaboration between myself, Insight Checked, and Detect Magic down here in the corner. This way. This is a mashup of TTRPGs meets crafts. So Tech is resident craft expert, and I am typically the GM for the TTRPG portion. We thought, let's bring these creative worlds together. So today, thank you all for hanging out with us. We will be playing a game of The Witch is Dead, which is a one-page RPG by Grant Howitt. We'll be dropping some links in chat throughout, so make sure to check that out. It's on itch. And we have also crafted our characters. So this is a game where we play animal, not familiars, just, your regular run-of-the-mill witch enchanted animals. But our players today have crafted in Polymer clay their characters. So you'll see them kind of rotating on the screen there, and we'll have an opportunity to talk with them after the game about what it was like to craft this character and kind of what the overall experience was like. So to start us off, I'm going to have our players introduce themselves and their characters. We're just going to go right into the world here, and each of you will have kind of like a little introductory scene for your character. So the camera kind of pans down through the beautiful trees of this forest. It's like a verdant, beautiful, enchanted space. The branches are gnarled, and the plant growth kind of spirals off in beautiful little curlicues and delicate little fern leaves. Sunlight is dappled and kind of streaming through the trees. It's peaceful. There's a small cottage that's near a brook, and this is where all of you call home. You motley crew of witch-enchanted animals that have been hanging out with your witch mom for, as long as you can remember being sentient. In this cottage, you can kind of hear the witch puttering around, preparing some spells, getting some small vials of potion measured accurately. In this beautiful sunny morning, we'll zoom into each of you and see what your character is up to. So we'll start with Mozzie. Mozzie, on this beautiful day, what are you up to in the witch's cottage or around the grounds?
I think Mozzie is just puttering around, trying to attending to her duties, making sure all of the candles are lit, everything is nice and warm and cozy, there's a fire going on the hearth. Just kind of taking a look around, maybe curling up on a rug in front of the fire just for a quick little nap.
And what does Mozzie look like?
She is a fox, so she's just a deep red color with fox ears, whiskers, and then her tail kind of ends in a little bit more of orangey, almost like a flickering flame sort of pattern.
Awesome. And what do you think Mozzie is most excited about in this beautiful day?
I think excited that just the sun is shining and it's just, I don't know, excited maybe for a chance to get outside and explore a little bit, maybe in the afternoon.
Awesome. So Mozzie the fox is kind of impatiently looking out the window at the sun streaming through, tail in the flames kind of, I don't know a good verb for that, enlivening with the extra oxygen in the air. And we kind of zoom over to Tech, your character, Bonbon. Where is Bonbon on this beautiful morning?
I feel like Bonbon is being a little mischievous and trying to imitate maybe one of the other players' characters, maybe imitating the way that they're saying something to instigate a little bit of a kerfuffle between them and another character. Just generally doing mischievous magpie things in that sense.
Who do you think, this is a question to the group, but who is being imitated in this moment?
I think that Bonbon is practicing their Rodney voice. So they're trying to get it just right, and is trying to basically say things that Rodney would like never say. Things like Rodney saying, "Oh, I would kill for an apple pie right now." Just like things that aren't just natural things that come out of Rodney's mouth.
Amazing. And what does Bon Bon look like?
Bon Bon looks like. I'm just gonna hold up the model. I feel like that's easier. Bon Bon is a little
Such a better
bird.
idea.
A little magpie. I'm gonna say always sticky. Why am I saying always sticky? Because they really like candy, so they're always like mildly sticky.
I love that. I'm adding that to my notes. Amazing. Wonderful. So we'll go then into Rodney. Rodney, you hear kind of out in the corner, I love apple pie, and it's like a voice that kind of doesn't really sound like you a little bit, maybe. I don't know. What are you up to on this morning, Rodney?
My name's Rodney. I'm the witch's apothecary assistant, so I help her with the potions and stuff. I'm very meticulous. I take notes. I use flashcards. Right now I'm in there organizing the lab and like sorting the ingredients and everything and making sure that everything is very clearly labeled, because I have to be very careful ever since the incident. We don't have to talk about that. Also, I hate apples. What are you talking about? Who is that?
And Rodney, what do you look like?
I look like this. The witch fitted me with a little bowler hat ever since, I saw a guy with a bowler hat and I couldn't stop. I fixated on it, and she was like, "Do you want one of those?" And I said, "Yes, please." She gave me one.
Incredible. Thank you, Rodney. This is a great crew. On this beautiful morning where two of you are one of you is excited about getting out there and exploring, and two of you are kind of engaged in old banter. We'll look at Todd. Todd the Toad, where do you find yourself this morning?
Oh, I'm out doing my calisthenics, Gotta keep limber, gotta keep these leggy legs going. I got my jumping to do. I gotta jump here and there, and the only way to do that is to keep at it as much as you can.
Amazing. And what do you look like, Todd?
Well, I'm an extremely green, the best kind of green, the most vivid kind of green. I stand out in a crowd, you see. I've got my little red lumps and bumps. I've got all my beautiful warts. I may or may not be poisonous. Don't worry about that so much. As long as you don't lick me, I think we're all going to be good. And, yeah, I'm basically the most beautiful toad that's ever toaded.
Has anyone tested this theory before about you being poisonous?
Well, no. Seems like a missed opportunity, don't you think?
Very interesting. So Todd, calisthenics, I expect your legs are stretching out and moving around. Where do you do your exercises typically?
Well, I like to do them up on the roof. Right on the top of the little witch hut. That way everyone can see me. They know that I jumped up so high. They know that my legs are kicking so long.
Amazing. And last but certainly not least, Piggy, where are you on this bright and sunny morning?
Oh, it's a lovely morning, and I see Todd's out having adventures. I want to go have adventures with Todd too. So, because I've been trying to impress Todd, and so what I'm doing is I'm watching Todd up on the roof, and every time Todd goes and jumps, I try to see how far Todd jumped, and then I go really fast around the house, and then I try to jump just as far as Todd did, but I can't do it. But maybe I'll get it next time, because I really want Todd to like me. And maybe if I can jump like Todd, here we go. Oh, and then I just sort of tumble around, and Piggy is fast, but not very coordinated. So Piggy's tumbling around in the mud like he does with the goal of trying to impress Todd.
Amazing. And Piggy, what do you look like?
Oh, I'm a dirty little pig. Dirtier now than I was a few minutes ago because things didn't go so well. I kind of missed my jump and I ended up where the carrots used to be. Uh-oh.
Incredible. So in this moment of action And some inaction. We have Piggy tumbling into the dirt just as Todd stretches out the long green legs. Rodney tipping the hat, mumbling about apples not so much, as Bon Bon insists in Rodney's voice that this is what Rodney wants. And Mozzie's bright flame tail kind of illuminating the faces of all who are near. In this idyllic scene, the witch stands in the doorway. She's shrouded in the shadow a bit. As we kind of imagine her and what she's like, I'd love all of us to kind of co-create her. So as she kind of steps forward, I'd like to go around once more, and we'll go reverse order. What is something that your character just loves about this person? Piggy, what do you love about the witch that created you and enchanted you?
Every time I look up at the witch, I see a halo of light. A halo of light, because I'm down low, and no matter what angle, I don't understand how it works. Whatever angle I go, left, right, up, down, no matter what, there's always a halo of light around the witch. When I see the halo of light, I calm down. For just a little bit.
Amazing. Todd, what do you love about the witch?
Her lumps and her bumps and her warts. Oh, they're so beautiful. You know, I've seen other human, and they're so smooth and strange. And oh, not the witch though. She's got all the bumps. She looks just amazing. Just the most beautiful human you've ever seen.
What about Rodney?
I love her long black hair, but she lets me put stuff in it sometimes. It's got like waves. It's really thick. I can really like nestle my beak in there. She'll let me do it because she likes the snuggles. That's another thing I like about her, but like her physical attributes, the black hair. It's like the same color as my feathers. I like that.
Bon Bon.
I think that the witch has a very musical voice. Of course, those are the things that I care about. And it's one of the voices that humans have pretty ugly voices sometimes, but I like hearing her speak, and I don't feel the need to imitate her because her voice is perfect as it is.
And Mozzie.
I think the witch is always wearing these really cozy woolen socks, and Mozzie just loves to like whine between her ankles and scratch up against them.
So in this moment, the witch steps out of the doorway, and you hear her melodious voice greet each of you, much like Snow White, kind of like with hands outstretched with the birds, and just kind of in her own way greeting you. Of course, like up on the roof, Todd, she gives like a nod. Ah, you've made it so high today, Todd. And to Piggy, she turns, and the sun, it's like a Mona Lisa effect. No matter which way you look, the sun is like always behind her, casting a beautiful glow. Oh, little Piggy, I see you've tried to jump and fallen, but in falling we learn, don't we?
Yeah.
And what did we learn?
Falling, don't we? Yeah.
It's close. It's close enough. Rodney Bon Bon, disagreements?
They keep saying I like apples. I don't like apples.
I know you don't like apples, and I don't like being poisoned. We've all learned about our likes and dislikes recently.
Yes, ma'am.
It's no hard feelings, Rodney. It's just, I think it's all good to recognize what one does and does not like to ingest. Bon Bon, no apples for Rodney.
No apple. No apples. None at all.
I don't like that face.
This is how my face always looks.
I do like that face. And Mozzie, are we going on a walk today?
Well, if the weather stays nice this afternoon, absolutely.
Good then. Maybe you can gather them all together. I know they're hard to wrangle sometimes, but you have a nice beacon to follow, and I do need more herbs for my spells, and, perhaps it's time to gather some of the blooming flowers in the summer.
Mozzie just kind of flicks her tail a little bit and kind of goes and tries to wrangle everyone else up.
So this figure is in the center of all of you. She's very lumpy and bumpy, not just on the face and nose, but just kind of all over her body. She's got like just kind of a very tactile skin. If you rubbed your hand over it, you could feel like all of like a story of all of these lumps. Some of them scars, some of them warts or freckles, but she's a very tactile individual. Her woolen socks kind of up to her knees, and her long black hair cascading down in waves as she and her snow white mix of animals here kind of trot through the forest. This is the intro of our show, essentially. The Witch is Dead kind of fades onto the screen, and it's written in like plant life, and then the plant life curls and blackens and then kind of falls to the ground. The cutscene of this intro goes to all of you at the feet of this witch. We see her woolen socks, very much like in The Wizard of Oz, right? Where you kind of see the socks and the shoes. It's positioned in the doorway, so you can no longer see kind of where she's fallen. But you do see those socks and familiar feet. This game, for all of you watching in chat, is about the murder, the unjust murder of this witch. I will read now from the one-pager, so get ready. I will drop an F-bomb. And this is the kind of the voiceover as all of you cute little animal critters are kind of sitting at her feet. Once upon a time, there was a kind and wise and beautiful witch who lived in the forest with her familiars. And her life was peaceful and happy until a fucking witch hunter broke into her cottage and dragged her out and fucking murdered her, and now she's dead. But if you get revenge and kill him, and bring his eyes to her corpse, within a week she'll come back to life. Or so you've heard. Even if it doesn't work, at least he's dead. So as this voiceover fades away, you all are left sitting at the feet of the fallen witch. The last thing you remember was in the middle of the night when you all were sleeping. You heard a voice say, "Aha! I have you now, and I'm saving you! I'm saving all of you!" And you heard kind of a strange noise, and this is how you found her the next day. The other notable thing is that one of her prized possessions is missing. It was a beautiful egg that she kept on the shelf. Rodney, you've tried to use it for tinctures and things many times, but she said no touching. It's gone, and the witch is dead. Animals, what do you do?
I'm just curled up in a little toad ball. My legs are curled in on each other, and I don't know what to do except roll around weeping. Can't even jump.
Oh no. The witch's body is there.
Yes.
I kind of feel like Rodney feels like his time has come. Like, he feels very useful in this moment. Rodney is really good in a crisis, so the first thing that he's gonna do is examine the body to see if he can identify cause of death.
How do you do this, Rodney?
Well, I think he's probably gonna like move her hair away from her neck and try to resist the urge to like nuzzle his beak into it one last time. See if there's like any strangulation marks or like any lacerations or anything like that. Just like examining her lovely lady bumps to see like what's going on with her body. Any kind of like obvious signs of violence.
Yeah, I would say this would use your clever stat. And I think given your knowledge of, all of the tinctures and potions and things y'all have been brewing, you probably know a bit about human anatomy. So
I would think he has a little medicinal training.
let's say this is a basic challenge for you, so it's a 7. So go ahead and roll your d10 and then add your clever stat.
Or 2. What's my cleverness? so 4. I didn't make it.
Okay. So, let's see. Yes, you can equal it or beat it, so you did not make it. So unfortunately, as you're kind of looking over the body, the lumps and bumps distract you, the hair, the familiar smell, and you can't help yourself. You just end up nesting and nuzzling in the hair and don't really find out anything of use. But you do remember, I would say, the thing about the eyes, the spell, and that sticks in your mind. What are you all doing as Rodney is nesting and mourning and Todd is rolling around?
I mean, Rodney is definitely trying to keep it together, so he's like not letting anybody else know that he is very freaked out right now.
Well, I'm freaked out right now. The halo's gone. Her light is gone. I gotta find her light. And Piggy's gonna start zooming around the house, looking to see where her light is, because the light's not there, and he doesn't know what's going on with the light. So he's gonna start running around the house looking for the light.
This is a simple roll. Give me a quick roll.
All right, we have a total of 4.
Total of 4. And
That's
sorry,
just my quick of
difficulty 6. Apologies.
I rolled a 1. My quick is 3. Therefore, I'm moving to 4.
Oh no. Piggy, you can't find the light. Did you realize this is the first time you've ever seen the witch lying down? Usually at night she lays down, but you conk out right away. And you think, maybe you just need to get her back on her feet. Maybe the eyes resurrection thing. That's the only way you can get it back. She must be standing. That is the only way this witch produces light. And you can't find it anywhere in here other than that. You kind of become consumed with this idea of revenge.
Must get the eyes. We must get the eyes. Toad! Get a hold of yourself. You gotta get some eyes here. We need eyes. The eyes. We need eyes. Hey, we gotta find out. You birdies, you're good at pecking eyes out, right?
Yes.
Get to pecking. Get to pecking.
Well, where are the eyes that we need to peck? How are we gonna find them?
Let's ask the fox.
That man the other night, he was the one who took the witch from us. Did anyone see where he went?
Did anyone see
Away.
There must be a way that we could track him. Can I try and look for tracks or any signs of the witch hunter?
Yeah. Describe how you're doing that.
I think just looking around on the ground for any footprints or broken branches.
Yeah. So for you, I'd say this is a simple task, given that you have a light-up tail, and so you kind of have a built-in flashlight. So it'll be a 6. Use your let's use your clever stat.
Ooh, okay. I did roll a 1, so it's only a 3.
Oh,
tragic.
no.
Y'all are never leaving this
Grieving.
house.
We better hope the eyes are in here at this point.
Mozzie, you, it's as if there's definitely been someone here, but you cannot make heads or tails of the prints. You do see that there are footfalls, I will say, even with a failure, but unfortunately they don't lead to kind of a discernible trail. However, I will say you two are kind of consumed with this idea of we must get those eyes. That's our only hope, as you're frustrated with the lack of progress on your search. So I think 3 of you now are a little intense with your anger.
He took a witch. We have to go and get those eyes back.
We must get the eyes.
I'm just going in circles, like following the tracks out, then in, then out, then in.
I will say you do all know, just situationally, that when the witch wants to go into the forest to gather flowers and things, she goes deep down by the river, following the brook, into where it's kind of thicketed. Whenever anyone has ever visited or when there's ever been any strange smells from other humans, it tends to come from the path, like the very impacted gravel path that leads away. You've never been that way, but it's a lot of sun, not a lot of shade, smells funny, lots of people folk go that way. So, no leads, but it's either deeper into the woods or into civilization are two general spaces that you all would know about.
Rodney, Bonbon, the two of you, you can... What's the thing where you use your legs but they flap?
Leg flaps.
Oh, you talking about flying?
Yeah! If you do that really high, like how I jump really high, but even more, could you go so high up you could see everything?
I don't know about everything. I can see more stuff. You want me to fly up there? You want me to fly up there and see what I can see?
Yeah.
Well, what we could do, Rodney, is if one of us goes to the path and one of us goes to the woods, and then we're gonna look at both things at the same time, so we cover twice the ground.
I like that. I like that idea. Which way do you want to go?
I'm just gonna point my wing, and whatever is closest to that, because I have zero sense of direction. I'm just like, that's the path, right? That's the path. I just move it until it's aligned. And I'm that way. That one. Yep.
All right, I'll go the other way. Sounds good.
Which way are you guys going?
I'm going to the path.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the nearest hole, window,
So you're
door.
going towards civilization, and I'm going to check out the woods and see. But the thing is, I don't think that. I mean, how thick are the woods? Would I be able to see through the canopy at all to really make anything out, or?
You know the woods well, and it's not dangerous. Depends on how close you want to fly.
I mean, I guess I would fly underneath the canopy so I can make sure that I can still see, like, what's going on.
That might be a little
Like,
bit
out
more
of any pathways or
dangerous
anything like that.
because you're kind of at that point, like in the speed runner in Star Wars, where you're kind of zipping through the trees at high speed and things are coming at you.
You are the Millennium Falcon.
Yes. So, but it'll definitely give you more information if you succeed. So
Yeah.
Rodney, go ahead and give me a quick roll, and it will be challenging and it's a little dangerous. That's an 8.
I made a 5.
Man. So, with that, you do take a point of danger. So go ahead and mark that on your sheet. If you fail a dangerous task. And remember, you all have one cantrip that the witch taught you. So you can all use one magic spell. However, whenever you use magic, it's always dangerous. You always have that risk. So, Rodney, describe what it looks like as you're kind of flying at breakneck speed and all these branches are coming at you. How do you fail in this endeavor?
I mean, I think Rodney's trying to keep it together, and, you know, he feels like he's the smart one, so he's trying to make sure that he can lead the group to victory and everything. But he's a little bit too self-assured, and he thinks that he knows where he's going, but he's, you know, flying through the canopy, and next thing he knows, he flies smack dab into an old growth oak tree. And His hat falls off and kind of slides down the bark.
It's not the hat.
Not the hat.
Yeah.
There's a cartoonish splat as Rodney hits into the old oak. The hat kind of drifts slowly down like a leaf falling from the tree and lands on an errant squirrel who's underneath the tree. And so for a moment, the squirrel is hatted and looks up at you and says, "Hey, thanks, buddy!
Give me back my hat!
It's my hat now, finders keepers!
No, it's not!
Come and get it!"
Okay, well, he's gonna go and get it.
So while that chase is ensuing, Bonbon, give me a... Well, how are you approaching your stealth, or not your stealth, your reconnaissance?
Well, I can very clearly see the path from the air, so I'm not going quite as agilely or dodging any particular obstacles. I'm having quite a nice, flight, despite the fact that murder has occurred hours prior. Would be actually a beautiful flying day if not for that.
So I would say give me... I almost want to say... your cleverness?
Perhaps.
What were you thinking?
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say perhaps I have to do a little bit of sly because as I go closer to where humans are, there's a chance someone's going to shoot me down.
Yes.
Because that is what humans tend to do.
I like that.
So I think sly maybe makes sense here.
That sounds great. Give me a sly roll. As you're kind of sticking a little bit to the tree line, like you want to have an out if need be. And you're the one that knows humans the best.
I got a 10 plus 1, so it's 11.
Is that our first success?
Wow.
First success!
Chat,
You're
give
not
it
nice,
give it
you're
up.
nice to me.
Give it up for Bonbon. So what are you looking for, Bonbon?
I'm looking for any, maybe along the path, any newly extinguished fires where someone might have set up camp, any sort of clearings where it looks like the ground has been disturbed in some way, because that's normally how these humans tend to they all gather around the fire. I mean, that tends to be how they group.
Yeah. So as you're flying along the path, kind of keeping out of sight when you see a group of folks that are seemingly unconnected to this, you kind of flit into the trees, flit back out. In this search, you do find a recent camp, very, I would say, a trajectory aligned with the witch's cottage. So it's not off the path. It's not like someone just stopped to rest. You kind of see it off at an angle, as though someone was traversing the woods from the cottage this way. So it's a very odd placement, a weird place to camp otherwise. And you do see evidence of recent camping. I would say with that first success, and very exciting that there's a success, I will also say you notice that there's a rucksack, a burlap sack, kind of leaning up against a stump.
Do I see anyone around?
Nope, camp seems abandoned. You can see kind of a thin trail of smoke wafting up from an extinguished fire.
I would like to go see what the bag has. There's always the possibility that eyes are in there, or candy. And those are two great possibilities in multiple scenarios.
All right, so you're going in?
Yes.
All right, we'll pause your scene. So we have two magpies in various levels of hijinks. In this moment, what is the fox, the pig, and the toad doing?
Well, I think that maybe I just didn't find it because I was looking inside, and I need to look outside. So I'm gonna do some running around the outside of the house to see if I can find any trace of her halo or anything that's going on, or an eye.
Do you think that maybe if I know that we sent the birds off already, but if we could get more of a bird's eye view, maybe if I could stand on top of Piggy, and if Todd could stand on top of me, then we could... Do you think we could get a better view and maybe find some tracks?
I'm better at jumping than I am at standing, but it could be worth a try. Piggy, can you stand still enough for that?
I don't know.
Said that sentence
you
is
know-
said like in 3 rotations around. I don't
Like-
know.
Doppler effect. You hear it only via Doppler effect the entire sentence.
Let me try. Eek. Okay.
Alright. I'll try and climb up on Piggy's back then.
And is Todd going on top?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump right up.
All right. And
You
what?
could jump from on top of my head and see how high you can go.
Hurry up. It's a little heavy.
Now, is this a ground floor endeavor, or are you trying to climb somewhere and do this?
I think just climbing on each other.
Okay.
Pigs don't climb.
All right. I would love to have rolls from each of you. Piggy, this is a really difficult 9 task for you to
All right.
stand so still for so long.
This is gonna be fantastic.
And you can add your... So I'll leave it up to you. It's like almost the opposite of quick, so I kind of want to have you roll with fierce, because you're like resisting the urge to run, almost.
All right,
Um,
see how this goes.
Fortitude of character, stay still.
Strength of
How
will.
about a total of 4?
All right, so I don't even need the rest of you to roll.
Yes.
Piggy
Why are
takes
our
off.
rolls so
It feels
terrible?
it feels like you're on a moving vehicle. Like Mozzie, underneath your little paws, like you feel a rumbling, and it's because Piggy has begun to move almost at first like the slowest speed he can, which is still pretty fast for him. Todd, can you make a also a fierce roll to see if you can avoid toppling off as the top part of this pyramid? This is going to be a difficult task.
How difficult we talking?
As a 9.
I got a 9.
Hey, you did it! So what happens is, Piggy, you start to run laps around the house like you usually do, but instead of your normal self, you have Mozzie and Todd on top of you in a little column. Much like when you stack your dice, it's like somehow works, but it doesn't look right.
I think Todd is holding on with his little front arms, and his long leggies are sort of flapping behind him as the running happens.
So because this whole endeavor is more or less successful, I will say as you all are running around the house, you see that the side window is open, and it appears to have been jammed open, like broken into. And there is a scrap of cloth caught on the latch of the window.
Can I do a sweet jump with a flip to land up on the windowsill as we run by?
Yes, you can. That will also be a probably a quick roll. And for you, I'd say it's a we'll do basic. You're a frog and you're good at jumping. 7.
Oh, that's an 8.
Nice. Yes. So you do a sweet flip, and you're kind of on the sill. Piggy and Mozzie are still lapping around you below.
I
No
land
idea.
with I stick the landing. I land with one leg like this and the other leg spread out like that. In a really cool pose.
Like a black
Hero
widow.
pose.
Yeah.
Like a frog
Just like
superhero
that.
Your
pose.
front legs just spread out like this.
Yeah.
You see two
Poser.
ladybugs on the windowsill, and they hold up little leaves that have like 10 written on them.
I give them a little nod, I'm confident, but I'm not that full of myself. Hey,
They take the signs and they immediately take flight. Brrr, and they fly away. You are underneath the scrap of cloth.
Piggy, Mozzie. I start jumping up and down underneath the cloth to try and get their attention.
We'll get there next lap.
I'm just trying to hang on desperately.
Yeah, does your tail flicker out at any point with all the wind and velocity, or does it get
I
bigger?
think it's like when you're watching sparklers and like trailing through the air, and you can just see like the the like firefly light effect of like the flames
like
circling
tracers.
around and around. Yeah.
I'm in pig.
So we'll cut over back to Rodney. Rodney, you have a squirrel who took your bowler, and unfortunately you were unable to really scout this area effectively, but you are maybe like a 5-minute flight away from the cottage, and the squirrel is kind of admiring himself in the reflection of the brook, and so he is just kind of like, not bad, kind of tilting the hat a little bit.
I mean, Rodney's gonna make a move for the hat.
What do you do?
He's gonna try to snatch it off his head and fly back.
Okay,
It's
so
his damn
are you
hat.
like dive
The
bombing?
witch gave it to him. Yes.
All right, give me a quick roll.
This better be good. I'm gonna be so mad if I don't get that hat back.
And this is a
She gave it to me!
a basics challenge.
Fuck.
Is this the beginning of like a squirrel rivalry?
It's 3.
It's a 3? All right.
Oh no.
So the squirrel sees you coming in the reflection in the water. Like he can see the behind him essentially. And so he moves out of the way and your claws hit the water as you pull back up. And you hear him chittering and laughing. He's like, "What's the matter with you? Why are you so off today?"
My mom died! She gave me that hat! Give it back!
"I'm so sorry, I didn't know, the squirrel says, and he looks aghast, and he takes the bowler hat off in his little paws and holds it out to you.
Rodney gets on the ground and like trots up to him in that weird little bird walk and snatches it. Thank you!
"Your mom's dead?"
Yes. Someone broke in the house and killed her.
"Oh, that's terrible. When did it happen?"
It just happened last night, we think, or early this morning, I don't know.
"Oh. Well, I wonder if it could have been that person in the woods."
Tell me more about the person in the woods.
"Why should I? You took my hat back."
You gave it back to me!
"I felt bad, but now I like kind of want something out of this, you know? Like I feel like I'm empty pawed."
Alright, what do you want? You're empty pawn. Alright, what do you want? What can I offer you for this information?
Can I ask for the hat? I want the hat.
Anything besides the hat.
Oh, his squirrel face falls and crestfallen.
I'm sorry, maybe I don't know. I don't know how she got it, or otherwise I would tell you how to get one.
What about some of your potions? You're always making potions. Can you make me a potion that makes me, like, really awesome?
Well, like awesome in what kind of way?
I always wanted to have big muscles.
You want big squirrel muscles?
Yeah,
I can help you with that.
was amazing. Okay, it's a deal.
Alright, you want to walk back with me to the house?
No,
I'll make you the potion, you tell me about the stuff.
nope, not doing that. I don't like the house. There's a lot of people there. It's very overwhelming. I live in the
There's
woods.
no people in the house, it was just her, there were...
Oh, sorry, I was using that colloquially. I meant all of your animal friends.
Oh, okay. Alright,
A lot
well...
of critters, a lot of animals. Don't like it.
Okay, well, how are we gonna do this?
You can come back later. After you, like, deal with your mom thing. I live here, so he points to the old oak that you smacked into. This is my house.
Oh, I'll never forget it now.
Yeah, you kind of dented it, so, like, I think you owe me, like, maybe 2 potions, but we'll talk about it later. Anyway,
I'll make you a big one.
fine. Deal. And, he's a squirrel, so he doesn't shake hands, but he
Offers
kind
out
of...
his...
Yeah, he twitches his tail. Kind of, like, fluffs your face with the end of the tail.
And he, like, flaps his wings.
All right, so what do you want to know?
Just tell me about you. I want to know everything. What do you know about this person that was in the woods?
Okay, well, I saw there was a person in the woods. It was night. There was no light. You know how they usually have light because they don't like the dark because they're so scared of things in the dark and they don't like the noises and they don't like when I take their sandwiches.
No. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, no light. Thought it was weird. So I saw
That's
him
weird.
kind of like crossing over the stream and heading towards your mom's house. And he had a couple big sacks.
Did they look like they were full or were they empty?
I don't know, I didn't really pay attention. Just saw that
So
they were
you
like,
don't remember what this person looked like?
well, he looked like a person with a hood and big human arms. Very muscly. I want arms like that. Can you make me have arms like that?
Yeah, I think I could probably set you up with that.
All right. Well, yeah, boots, cloak. Oh, it had some kind of symbol on it. It looked like a, I don't know, like a big claw or something.
Like one of these, and like Rodney holds up his foot.
Yeah, kind of like that. Well, but not like a bird, but like, you know, like a bigger claw.
Okay. Interesting. Do you remember about when this was that you saw this person?
Oh, it was a night. I had to get up and, you know, use the bathroom in the middle of the night. And, you know, my spouse doesn't like when I do it in the nest, so I had to go outside.
Yeah,
It was
she does,
cold.
She probably wouldn't like that, yeah.
That's when I saw him.
Okay. Well, you know, and what was your name?
Jeffrey.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for your help. My name's Rodney. Nice to meet you, Jeffrey.
Yeah, no, I know
Be
you.
back here.
I know you. I know your mom. I know the animals. I just don't like you guys, so.
Okay. Fuck you too, Jeffrey. I'll be back with your potion.
Amazing. This is great. This is a great day for Jeffrey. And he begins to like do a little squirrel flex. He's like, I'm gonna be big. We'll cut over to Bonbon. Bonbon, you land in the former campsite. The thin trail of smoke wafts up in the air. You see this burlap sack leaning against the stump. You wanted to investigate it?
Yes.
All right. Give me a clever roll to see if you understand what you find inside. It will be let's say it's a basic for you because you are the human liaison.
I rolled a 6. 4 plus 2. You said clever, right?
Yes. So the basic is a 7.
Oof.
So unfortunately, you do find these things, and you're welcome to report back on them, but you have no idea what they mean. So you find a piece of paper with a lot of writing on it, and a very formal-looking signature, but you have no idea what it says. It has a little map, but you don't know what the map is of. And you also find a gold cup. It's quite large, and it has kind of, I would say, hooked appendages that form the cup portion. So it's not like a full circular egg cup or anything. It's just kind of like little hooks that kind of claw out to make a little, I don't know, space where you could put something round. And that's in there too.
How sizable is the cup?
Probably the size of like a, well, U-Tech would know it to be a basketball, but Bomba has no idea.
So, not something that Bonbon can particularly pick up and fly back with.
It's heavy. It's like gold or something.
You could grip it by the husk.
I'm going to pick up the piece of paper in my little birdie claws and take it back with me.
Easy enough. The paper is a good quality parchment. Doesn't rip in your claws, and you're able to bring it back. And as you fly back, you see the following. You see Piggy and Mozzie on Piggy's back running laps around the house, and you see Todd in like some amazing landing pose on the windowsill.
Clearly, all
A
of
normal
them.
day.
Oh, and your dead mom in the doorway. Also
Oh
that.
yeah, that's yep. Nope.
Oh
this
yeah,
is-
that.
The only difference is the murder, honestly.
You typed in inventory. You're dead, mom.
I'm gonna land in a place that is not within the diameter of, or this whatever that is.
Racetrack.
The racetrack.
Piggy's
Figurative
path.
racetrack. Piggy's path, exactly.
That's the next Mario Kart level for
path.
sure.
Just outside of whatever that is. A good 2 to 3 feet back, just in case, there's any sort of veering, to make sure that, 1, I don't get knocked out, and 2, the piece of paper doesn't get trampled in the mix.
Smart.
Y'all see Bon Bon land. I would say, Rodney, if you were heading back around this time, you would also return to the house, coming from the opposite direction. Did you wish to head back, Rodney, or did you have more business in the woods?
I think I'm gonna head back and look through. I mean, I am a bird of my word, so I'm gonna look through the ingredients to see how I can make this squirrel some steroids.
Amazing.
So,
So you head back. You see the same scene, in this case, seeing also Bon Bon with a parchment clutched in her claws, and head into the home.
Bonbon, what do you have there?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm just gonna thrust it out with 1 foot and be like, do you know? I
Let
don't
me
know.
look at this. What do
I
need
can
to roll for
speak
this?
human. I can't read human.
Maybe I can read it. I make labels.
Yeah, give me a clever roll. What did I say it was a basic for you, Bon Bon? I
Me?
think I did for you reading it. Let's say I did, because you're the liaison for humanity. So for you, Rodney, I think it would be a challenge. So an 8, because you're not as well versed as Bon Bon, but you do know how to do labels.
Maybe I just don't know that I know how to read. I've only ever spoken to people, and I just have never tried and applied myself.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Cute.
Fuck.
What is it?
7.
Oh no! Unfortunately, you don't know what the hell this is either. It's a lot of scribbles. Looks like a map. Humans.
Humans.
But
Alright, well I
because
gotta
of
see a squirrel about a strength potion. so
Rodney, I will
mean,
say, because you had that conversation with the squirrel,
That's true.
you do notice that there is a claw as part of the signature. So it's like an insignia, and then the signature, the scribbles. But you would recognize that.
Rodney's gonna wait. Rodney's gonna snatch it, probably tear the corner a little bit. And be like, wait a minute! This claw here. The squirrel told me that the guy had a claw on him somewhere. Like he had an insignia with the claw. It looked kind of like our claw, but it was bigger. And he had hoods and 2 bags. He didn't know whether the bags had stuff in them or not. I'm willing to bet that the bags were empty, but the squirrel didn't know. He was up in the middle of the night taking a piss. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna go make a potion. I'll see y'all later.
Well, I found this. Still jumping up and down this little piece of cloth. It was in the window. It was in the broken window, and I think it might be something.
Are you still up
What?
there, Todd? On the windowsill?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of enjoying wearing this piece of cloth. It feels kind of like a cool cape. And I'm kind of waiting for everybody to stop and watch me so that when I jump down, it sort of flutters behind me.
So not only does Todd have secret aspirations of being a superhero, he is also a thespian. We love this.
It is the perfect size for a cape, Todd. It's a very deep burgundy color.
That's my color too. It goes
Yeah, it looks
so
good
well with
against
my
the
neon
bright green. Yeah. Let me see this. Ronnie's
And
gonna look at it.
I jump down holding the cape with my little frog hands, and I land gracefully on my big froggy legs.
Let's
And
find
when
out.
I
There's one leg out.
flip it over, I flip it over like that.
Let's find out.
Maybe the cape is like what gives Todd the placebo confidence to like hop well.
Maybe, yeah.
Feeling inspired. It's like, this must be magical. It's just cloth, but like
It's
it
a
makes
cape of
Todd
plus
feel
0.
good.
Yes. With your cape of +0, go ahead and give me a quick roll. It's going to be basic challenge 7 and add +0 for your cape.
Cool. I adding a quick and a +0 for my cape. I got a 1.
Todd, please describe with what gracefulness you make your landing.
See, the thing is, when you're a toad, you actually do use all 4 legs to jump and land. Holding on to this cape so that it flutters behind me so gracefully and wonderfully, instead of landing in a really cool athletic way with my legs, my big long leggy legs, I instead land on my legs and then immediately face plant into the floor. The cape, instead of flipping around majestically, just sort of flops over my head, covering me. At least it covers my face, it covers my shame. But not enough, because everyone saw.
Well, yes, I saw, and because Piggy wants to do everything Todd does, then of course this is a new way of hopping. So as Piggy rounds the corner and sees this faceplant, Piggy is going to replicate this faceplant by leaping and landing without his front feet, face first, right next to Todd.
I'm still on Piggy's back, so I'm Piggy. No, don't! I just go careening over the top.
Throws Moxie across the room.
Yeah.
Rodney, this is kind of the scene you step around as you enter into the hut. Rodney, what does your apothecary setup look like? The witch's is elaborate. There are a lot of vials on the wall. They're kind of in the way people keep their spices, like in a little wooden cabinet that has easy access for like grabbing and adding a dash of this, a pinch of that. There's lots of dried herbs hanging from the ceiling. Everything is people-sized, though. And so there's lots of tools and things that the witch used to use with you. What does your setup look like? How were you helping her in this endeavor?
I think that Rodney probably has like a small like burner bowl that he would use. Probably like the witch has like a molcajete size like big ass mortar pestle, and he just has like a little one like this that he can pick up the little mortar with his tiny little claw and use, you know, to feel like he's helping.
Adorable.
Dollhouse sized everything.
Well, not dollhouse sized, but like, oh, you know,
Birdhouse sized.
So go ahead and make
birdhouse
me that
size,
clever
exactly.
roll. It'll be a simple task for you. It's a 6.
Come on, I can make this.
You can do it.
That's the 8 that I needed, so I have a 10.
You make
I
a
can
really
make steroids for squirrels and nothing else.
that's the vibe of this game. Yes, you make excellent squirrel steroids. And you make just enough for a double portion should you choose to give the squirrel both. In a small vial, the witch has kind of crafted a small set for you with like very tiny caps that your claws can put on and off. Her own set sits kind of strangely disused for the day. Like she would always create something and then wash them in the evening, and you see that they're pristine and haven't even been touched today, and it kind of touches you in that way, and you remember the eyes of her killer. That's the only way to bring her back, and you only have a week's time. But the squirrel steroids are great.
Good. At least I'm good at something. He like kind of lifts up a little bird foot and scratches underneath his bowler hat and like dissatisfaction. He's satisfied with the potion, obviously, but the whole situation is just it's getting to him, but he can't let anyone know.
Outside, those of you underneath the sun, you see kind of a large cloud pass over the sun overhead. And you are very good at telling time by the positioning of the sun. And you can tell that it's shifting into late afternoon as the clouds drift, kind of casting shadows. And Piggy, you especially feel like the light, whatever light was behind the witch this whole time, the whole area now is dark. It feels like a very dark, cold day in the forest all of a sudden.
You said it's mid-afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at this window. Where this window is, someone was here. And I'm gonna start running in circles around the base of the window, maybe slowly doing a larger circumference, looking for any sign of maybe where someone came from to get to that window. Some idea of, I've never done tracking. I don't understand that kind of stuff, but at least I can draw attention to things and stomp all over it, making it more difficult for someone to actually do that. But that's, a little side effect of what's going on there. But trying to draw attention to someone. Look at this. Who's got a brain?
Collateral damage.
I will say there's no real aid mechanic in this game, but I will say, Piggy, with your help, if someone else wants to attempt a clever roll on this for interacting with the interpretation of footprints or tracks or anything, I can give like an advantage roll. I don't know if I'm breaking the game, but let's go for it.
What do you think? Bonbon, do you want to do it or do you want me to? You'll do it, Bonbon?
I'll go help.
All right, Bonbon, give me a clever roll, and I'll let you roll twice. And for you, it is, at this point with Piggy's help, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Piggy might be hindering, but it'll be a basic 7.
So I have to roll twice?
Yeah, I'll give you 2 opportunities.
Okay, my first roll was
That's
a 4.
how bad our dice are.
So it's a 6, and that's sad.
Uh-huh.
Next roll is a 7! Okay,
Hey! Okay,
7 plus 2.
yay!
Yay!
All right, so Bonbon, with Piggy's help, weirdly enough, it's possible that Piggy has trampled all the other clues, and you just find this one that's left. But regardless, you do see a very clear set of boots imprinted in the ground. So it looks like kind of like human-sized, large feet, very like regimented lines. So like not like a traveler's shoe or a soft shoe. Like it seems to be a very like hard traveler boot that can, withstand a lot of terrain. And there's a line from the woods where Rodney came from to the window, and then exiting out the front door, and then it heads towards the woods where you saw the fire.
Piggy, can you lay down? Can you lay down real quick? I would like to try to use Piggy for scale of the shoe imprint.
Piggy is very good at lying down and rolling around, but the problem, of course, is that he's going to roll all around the shoe imprint because that's the instruction that he was given, and that's what happens when you roll in the mud.
Okay, it's about from Piggy's butt to Piggy's lower lip. That's about that length. Okay, yep, that's a measurement.
Piggy for scale.
Piggy for
There can't be
scale.
that many humans with that exact size shoe, right? I'm sure we can find him.
But does he have an eye? We need an eye.
He's
If
probably
there's
got an eye.
any moist ground, I'm just gonna take my wing and dip it in it and just draw a line on Piggy's face. So I know the exact demarcation.
Incredible.
Okay.
We're good at this, guys. We're good at this.
Experts. Okay. Well,
What are we waiting for? Let's go!
all right.
Let's go.
Todd
Do we need-
is
do we need-
still
Should we
lying
pack
flat
a
on his
bindle or
face.
something?
Piggy's off. Piggy's off out the front door, going in whatever way. Piggy's tired of being here and the day's getting bad, so Piggy's like, enough of this, we're going.
All right, Piggy's running. Todd, what were you doing?
I'm still lying face down on the floor with the cape over my head in shame. But if somebody wants to grab my leg and pull me, I think, I'll get over
I'll
myself
grab
a bit.
Todd. I'll just kind of like nudge Todd with my nose and then start gingerly like grab the cape and start pulling by the cape.
Oh. Todd's
Let's
like,
go.
Sounds weirdly like a ribbit, but even more croaky.
Do Rodney and Bonbon follow?
of course.
Bonbon's gonna make sure to bring the paper, but otherwise does not have any concept of like rations and things that need to go with us on a journey, and has just purely brought the paper.
So
I mean, a bird can't exactly carry a bindle and fly at the same time, so like,
I could clutch something in my other foot and fly.
I
but
guess we
that-
could carry
I
the
did not have the
bindle while we're
wherewithal to
flying.
like think of that.
Like, out of
like
character
doves
question,
that have the ribbons.
How far have any of us traveled from this house that we know of,
So
Do
from
we
what
have
I
any concept of distance?
what I've heard from your characters, I would say maybe Mozzie knows the immediate area from like traversing around on walks and things. Does that sound right, Mozzie?
Yeah, I think so.
And I've also heard that Bonbon maybe talks to humans or imitates humans, so probably has gone maybe as far as the local village. Do you think that that sounds right?
Yeah, I think Bonbon's probably gone as far as like the tavern or something like that, just to like stir up trouble from a window.
So Bonbon has probably the best idea of how long it takes to get there. I wouldn't say the rest of you would know. It seems like you're
I
a close to
would say
home
that
bunch.
Rodney has definitely gone on excursions to gather ingredients with the witch, but like, she probably doesn't go to the village. She probably just goes in the woods. to
Yeah, that's a
get
good
those
point.
things.
So maybe Rodney and Mozzie kind of local geography, and then Bonbon kind of distance. Todd and Piggy, I don't know. How far have you guys gone?
Vertically?
Todd and Piggy bring enthusiasm.
Yes.
That's right.
I think
Yes.
Todd
The
may
direction.
have like a faint memory of the nearest brook. But like, other than that, I don't know about Piggy. Piggy probably only knows mud.
Mhm.
There's a lot of it close to the
I
witch's
can
home.
show you where all the good mud is.
Oh,
That's all you need.
That's right.
This
Now
is-
Piggy's on a
that is a
mission.
Form of geography.
So your group heads off into the gathering, not storm, but kind of like overcast, cloudy horizon as you follow through the woods that runs alongside the path that humans typically traverse and that you, for the most part, have stayed away from for most of your lives. As Piggy takes the lead running and Mozzie is kind of dragging Todd in this unceremonious way with the magpies flying low to the ground in tow. The group makes its way to the fire that had been doused, that Bonbon investigated, and now that you have the trail, you're able to see those footprints continue. So you are able to follow these footprints all the way to the nearest village. Bonbon, this is a familiar space for you, but for the others, perhaps not as much. Everyone is big, tall. You are all of a sudden feeling very small. The witch always made you feel so big, so special. She took care to treat you right and to make sure that you were safe when she was interacting with you. But here, people are stepping all over you and not minding you as they go about their business, and they're doing the strangest things. It's unclear what everyone is doing and saying in this space. It's bustling. There's wagon wheels. There's other animals that are much bigger than you, dogs and other things that you've only maybe even heard about but never encountered, being creatures of the forest. As you are in this space, you see in the tavern, Bonbon, that you have kind of messed with people at before, you see a few people sitting around a table wearing burgundy cloaks with large claws printed on the back. And you hear someone saying, "Ah, another round of drinks."
I would like to, I guess I would be using Sly to sort of creep up near them and look very inconspicuous. Maybe stand real still so they think I'm a realistic bird statue.
Do you wish to enter the tavern?
Yes.
Okay, how are you entering? Through the front door? Through a window?
I think that Bonbon would know that, like, which window is, like, a little bit looser than the other ones, and would just squeeze her body in there.
Okay.
That would
What
be my
do
way of
you
entering.
What do you do with the rest of your group? Do you leave them behind, or how are you engaging with them?
I've forgotten my purpose in that sense. I have a very one-track mind of, like, I see a thing that I recognize and flit towards that without really realizing that I have left behind a gaggle of critters that does not know where they are.
Yep.
And just sees me, like, kind of flitter off.
So Bonbon takes off towards the window, and all of you are kind of left alone in this bustling, overwhelming, enormous space. What do you all do?
Well, I'm squealing. I don't know what's going on. Straight towards the same place Bonbon went. Not sly whatsoever. In fact, I'm going to use my magic spell Distract and Confuse, careen into the middle of it, like a squealing little pig, running around. Oh, what's going on, Bonbon? What's happening? You know, screaming at Bonbon, which just sounds like squealing. You know, this pig just squealing, running around the base of everything.
Amazing. So this is our first use of magic. So what does your spell look like when you cast it?
So the normal speed Piggy has becomes like super Piggy speed, to where it's just this blur of pink running around, and so anyone that tries to grab the Piggy, it's like a greased pig, just slippy, slimy, and squealing, and it's just a cloud of dust kind of comes up like Pigpen, you know, and just makes everything a total mess, because Piggy now doesn't know what's going on, but knows that something's going on and needs to do whatever he can do about it.
Amazing. And who are you casting this spell on? What kind of target?
Actually, just heading right into the middle of the tavern. So it's just make a mess in the tavern.
Awesome.
Obviously,
so
this is
the
an
target.
important place. So
Every time you use magic, it is considered dangerous. So
I live for danger.
amazing. Your intention is to distract and confuse kind of whoever is in the tavern. I would say this is a challenge, an 8, just because it is a bustling tavern. And if it were like a quiet space or a library or something, easy enough. But a tavern, it's boisterous, and everyone seems to be doing something already that's quite noisy. So give me an, what would that be? Do you have a special role for your magic? I don't believe so.
No.
So let's use your fierce, I would say. Challenge 8, and it has a
Alright.
danger tag.
This has been fantastic so far. We rolled a 4. My fierce is 1. That gives me a 5.
Oh no. So take a point of danger. Piggy,
Right.
as you rush in, the spell is cast. Your speed increases. Your little legs are a blur. There's dust and chaos everywhere, except no one seems to be so distracted.
Who cares?
You hear like this strange like it's like people are like jamming down their glasses full of some strange sticky liquid that's spilling out over the edge and dropping around you like projectiles, like splashing into the ground as you have to dodge them in your speed. Everyone's kind of just making noise, but no one seems to really care about your chaos. It's very chaotic at the ground level, though. Like your spell does take effect in that, like there's just clouds of dust kicked up. Like there's completely obfuscating the bottom of the floor in this tavern. So the danger here is that you might get stepped on because no one can see you anymore because of your chaos and the spell you've cast.
Working perfectly.
So you see Piggy.
As far as I know.
Yes. Yeah, you all see Piggy kind of disappear into a cloud of dust and enter the tavern. Bonbon, you're at the window. Todd, Rodney, and Mozzie, what are you doing?
I would like to jump up to the windowsill to get a look inside.
Okay, so you're up there with Bonbon.
I'm
Rodney?
still wearing my cape.
Yeah.
Of course.
I might try to sneak in using Piggy's like the cover of the dust and chaos, to try and get close to the window from the inside this table.
Okay, so coming in through the front door.
Yeah.
So there is a point of danger in this because Piggy has made the situation quite dangerous at the ground level.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me a sly roll. And it will be, let's have it be basic 7 because there's some cover.
I have an 8 plus 2, a 10.
Great. So describe how you sneak in, and if you do want to meet up with Piggy or not. Your choice. You have a success.
Yeah, I think that I'm just I'm just trying to like slink in very carefully, like skirting around table legs and chairs and just like very low to the ground. And I'll see if I can kind of like go past Piggy and just kind of like nod my head towards the table with the people with the burgundy capes. Should we just go and wait and see if we can pick up any, I don't know, any more clues?
What?
Just follow me.
Are
Okay.
there any chandeliers in the tavern?
Yes, there are. Rustic wooden chandeliers, 2-tiered, made out of old wagon wheels, it looks like.
I think Rodney would like to fly inside and perch on the chandelier near the table with the burgundy cloaked figures to see if he can overhear any pertinent information.
All right, easy enough. The door is open, and no one really cared about a pig running around underfoot, so I don't think they care about an errant bird flying in. So you're able to kind of perch nearby the table. Bonbon and Todd, you're at the window. Bonbon, you said you know that this one is kind of like loose typically.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and give me either a sly if you want to try to like sneak in, or a fierce if you want to try to force your way in. Both of you can pick which way you'd like to enter through the window, but you have to tell me how you're using your like little animal appendages to do it.
I think from Bonbon's side it's gonna be more fierce. There's like clearly kind of like a rusted hinge on one side of the window, and normally what Bonbon does is just pull out the screws and shove their way in, using her beak. So I think it'd be more forceful than sneaky.
Great, go ahead and roll that. That will be a challenge, I would say. And it might be a little dangerous. You're working with some human technology there, and I hope it doesn't break on you.
I got 8 plus 1. So I don't remember what the threshold is for a challenge.
That's an 8, so yes, you succeed.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yes,
And how about
yay.
Todd? How is Todd proceeding?
I'm watching Bonbon do their thing, and I think once I see what's happening, and I see the window start to budge, I'm gonna take one of my super strong, awesome legs and just push it against the window to hold it open.
Awesome.
Once Bonbon gets
Nonchalantly again, like you did the landing.
Very, paint me like one of your frogs.
I kind of toss my frog or my toad head a little bit as I do it, so that it makes me look even longer.
Incredible. Yes.
Probably a modeling career for Todd after this.
Yeah.
Todd, just for the heck of it, give me a simple 6 fierce roll with the effort on this window.
That is a 10.
All right, easy enough. You two make a dynamic duo as you break in to the tavern window, and you're able to enter in. You are a little bit higher up. The window is kind of like chest height on a human. So they are at a table in the middle. You see Rodney. You can always tell it's Rodney with the hat, the bird with the hat, perched on the chandelier above them. But you're quite a ways away, and you can't see Mozzie or Piggy. You see like a little bit of like a faint lights, but it's like a very dusty floor, and like there's just like a layer of like smog down there. So you can kind of see almost like a candle flicker maybe heading towards the table. You don't see Piggy anywhere.
Bonbon? Bonbon? Do you see these people wearing capes? Their capes are like my capes. My cape.
Yeah,
Just the
it's the
same.
same cape. Are you a claw person? Did I miss that?
What if they thought I was? What if they thought the witch turned me into a toad?
But you can't speak.
But you
We-
can.
Ventrilla Todd.
All we need is your claw dipped in some of the ash from that fireplace over there, right on my cape, and then you do all the talking, and I do all the acting.
It's like Animal, Cyrano de Bergerac. It's great. It's a great time.
So good.
Bonbon, I think this might be the best plan we've ever come up with.
Yup. You know what? Considering our track record of plans, this might be the best one.
And our plans are usually pretty good.
Okay,
None of them have gotten us killed.
quick flashback. What's the last plan? Like it does a quick cut to the last plan. Usually our plans are pretty good. What do we see really quick?
Maybe
Oh,
the
I
last plan was like a Mother's Day breakfast thing for the witch, in which we did not realize, I don't know, maybe we needed to cook something and we didn't realize it needed, like, I don't know, fire to actually bake it or something.
We could have asked Mozzie for help, but we were doing the secret we gotta be secret about it.
So
The best part of the plan is when we stole all of the eggs off of the cart. There's the person that goes by every now and then selling eggs and milk. We stole all the eggs off their cart. That went by like swimmingly. All
Yeah,
we had
because
to do was
cakes
get
need
Piggy to run around and scare the horses so that they knocked the eggs off the cart.
because I read real good. I'm pretty sure it's 20 eggs to every pound of flour, and I
Yes.
think that's what the recipe said. Yeah.
so
Yup.
there's
Knock
We
the
mixed
eggs
all
off
of
the
it in a
cart.
bowl. We had Rodney do the mixing.
Oh,
We
yeah,
just
of
forgot
course.
the cooking part.
Yeah. We promised Rodney no apples, so Rodney was willing to help us.
There's a quick cut to the witch sitting next to Piggy, who is like in like a little like special high chair. And the witch is like looking at the table in front of her, and it's just this mess of like runny eggs and like a pound of like flour underneath. And there's just like a sad birthday candle like drifting off to the side. And the rest of you are sitting in front, just like smiling at her. And she's like, "Oh, it's lovely. Piggy, this is for you." And she just pushes it all in front of you. Cut back
That was our
to
second best
yeah,
plan.
cut back to you all. So as Todd and Bonbon are making this plan, Rodney, you are above, and Mozzie and Piggy, I'd say at this point you are below. So the three of you hear all of this. Bonbon and Todd, whatever is cooking on your end, you will not have the
We're not
knowledge.
cooking.
You will not be privy to this knowledge. But the three of you do hear. Oh, sorry, I have a rogue dog busting in here.
IRL Piggy vibes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
you can go
that
get
dog's
him.
got some piggy zoomies right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of zoomies happening. So Rodney, Mozzie, and Piggy, you hear the cloaked figures. They're talking amongst themselves. Amanda, I've never played this game before. Do people generally understand human speech, like the animals?
I've played it both ways. I've seen it played both ways, where yes or no. I think you can even do it animal per animal, like maybe Bonbon does. Maybe anybody who has a particularly high clever skill does, and anybody else doesn't.
Okay, what are all three of your clever skills? Thank you.
I'm the least clever with a +1.
Amazing.
I have a 2.
2.
Mine is 2 as well, but mine would be a human 2. Mine's more of a nature 2.
Beautiful.
So I don't think Piggy really understands human.
Beautiful.
The scale is different.
Rodney, what do you have for clever?
My clever is 2.
And Bonbon, what do you have?
I have a 2 as well.
Okay. So I'll say it's up to
Not a
you,
bunch.
Rodney, Mozzie, or Piggy, how much of this you understand. But for our chat at home that understands human speech, what could be heard is these individuals, they seem to be like rowdily clinking glasses, and oh, he's back. Definite Piggy energy. Rowdily clinking glasses and kind of singing a song, and they're singing. We'll save them all, we'll save them all, we will save them all. And then they like take a swig of the beer. And one of them like kind of puts both hands on the table. He is male presenting, like tossly hair, kind of traditionally handsome, like blonde, like chiseled jaw, maybe like one of those wispy mustaches. So it looks like he's maybe younger or posing to be like more older than he actually is, and kind of leans forward and he's like, "We will save them all. Just last night, lads, I killed a witch. I killed the witch and saved one of ours." And they begin like, I don't know, it's like singing, talking to each other. It's just what happened. I don't know why.
Right off Broadway.
We've just entered a musical.
I love it. I'm here for this musical. I'm waiting for our number. I'm waiting for our I Want song, actually.
And the other gentlemen at the table are like, "You killed a witch," and they just kind of call in responses
So
for a
we
while.
know. We have eyes on them.
Yep, this is
No, we didn't.
this is an individual that seems to be taking great pride in his act. And with both hands slammed on the table, he kind of rises a little bit, so he's like half seated, but he's like leaning forward, and he's like, "And I know where the next one is." And they're like, the next one," and they start swinging their beer. And that's what you all hear. I don't know.
Rodney is seat.
I'm imagining just a blonde Gaston at this point.
Yeah,
Like, this is
me
all
too.
that I have in my head is like the Beauty and the Beast tavern scene where they talk about his muscle.
No one kills witches. Like, it doesn't quite fit the rhyme scheme, but like.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah.
But yes, so the three of you hear this kind of singing speech, and those of you that have been kind of incited to revenge, all you can think in this moment is, the eyes will bring back your mom. And that's where we're going to take a break. So we
Is it
will.
already time for a break?
It is already time for a break.
Wow, dang. The time flies by.
So before we go to break, really quick, I know we jumped right into character, but can we go just around real quick and like say who you are as like humans and where we can find you on the internet, and then we'll drop
Alright,
some
humans.
links for the break so folks can check you out. Let's start with Tech.
Who am I? My name is Tech, Detect Magic. I am a streamer here on Twitch. You could find me at Detect Magic. Is my Twitch handle.
Amazing.
I'm great
You're
at.
doing great.
Forgot. I've been a bird for so long. I forgot how to be a person. Variety streamer, mostly crafting, general chaos. I feel like that's the vibe that we've all gotten at this point. And I can drop my link tree, and that's where all the links are.
Awesome. Drop it to me in Discord.
You all can do better than this, clearly.
I'll post it at the break. Drop it in Discord. I can post it during
For
the break.
sure.
You're doing great.
Yeah,
Ashley, who are you? Where can we find you?
My name is Ashley, not actually. I am also a craft streamer like Detect is. I stream once a week. I've recently moved my day that I stream from Wednesdays to Thursdays just to see if that's going to work out a little better. I do a lot of Polymer. I also crochet, I paint, and occasionally I play games. And you can find me at Ashley Not Actually, all one word, on Twitch.
Amazing. And Amanda, who are you and what are you all about?
Hi, I am Amanda. I do statistics and data analysis by day, and then I play lots of TTRPGs by day because I like to have a good night's sleep. You can find me usually various places. I play a lot of games over with the Gauntlet people. I play a lot of Trophy and Carve from Brindlewood and things like that. Sometimes I'm live streaming, not very often. It's usually actual plays that are recorded and put up on YouTube. I generally put all of the stuff that I am involved in on Twitter. So if you can follow me on Twitter at NoAmandaStop, that's NoAmandaStahp, that's stop spelled in the cute way. And yeah, if you want to hang out on Twitter with me, I know it's a cesspool, but it's a funny cesspool right now.
It's fair. It's fair.
I love that that's how you spell it.
Rev.
That's the new Twitter like slogan. We know it's a cesspool.
Yeah, we know.
Welcome.
Did you get your blue
Just
check?
we know. Twitter, we know.
Anything if you like to watch a certain person suffer.
Amazing. Rev, who are you and what are you all about?
Yeah, I'm Rem. I'm Rem of the Realm on most social media. I do a lot of TTRPG stuff. I'm on a podcast called Abstract Adventures, and I do a YouTube actual play stream show called Rules Revamped. So you can find all that on my Beacons page or my Twitter, so go check that out.
Amazing. And Scott, who are you and what are you all about?
So my name is Scott Nicholson. I'm a professor of game design. My focus is on analog games, board games, card games, and escape rooms. You can follow all the stuff I'm up to on Twitter at @snicholson, and I run a series on YouTube called Introspective, which is thinking pretty deeply about analog game design. You can find that at Scott Nicholson at YouTube.
Amazing. Well, we've given you a lot of things to check out during the break, but don't go anywhere because we will be back. We're just taking a break. We need to find out what happens with these singing, strapping young lads who just killed a witch and all of these animals who are out for revenge. So we will be back shortly. Yes, I think we're good to go to break. So we'll be back in like 5-7 minutes. Grab some water, grab a snack, and we'll see you soon. Hello, everyone. We are back with more StoryCrafters. We were just talking about things that are fine for a stream. Totally fine. We're having a good time. Very excited to be here with these fine folks. This is a collaboration with me, Insight Checked, and Detect Magic down there in the corner, where we bring crafts and TTRPGs together for creative chaos. Thank you so much to the mods in chat for being amazing. I appreciate you so much. Normally it's me like scrapping for links, and like the links were there, so like so much, thank you. And we are also having a great time here with The Witch is Dead, which is an RPG by Grant Howitt, if you want to check it out. It's a one-page RPG that you can pick up pretty easily with your friends and try and kill a witch as a cute woodland animal. And that is actually where we are with these folks. They are honing in on the person that killed their witch, their mom, who enchanted them and gave them powers and took care of them, and occasionally was poisoned by them accidentally. Oh, did we lose Amanda?
We lost him.
Well, just ignore that. We're back. I was gonna say ignore the camera shift. But yes, so these fine animals are honing in on potentially resurrecting their mother. There is a rumor that if you get revenge and kill the person that killed her and bring his eyes to her corpse, within a week, she'll come back to life. Or so you've heard. We don't really know, but at least he's dead. So we currently find ourselves in a tavern. There is a break-in happening. There's a duo ventriloquist routine happening. We'll find out what happens next as these animals are in the driver's seat. So, party. You hear the singing voices of this crew, and one of them, who had been leaning forward on the table, kind of stands to his feet and says, "To get the rest!" And the two say, "Yes, the rest, yes, the rest." But it looks like they want to finish their beers first. What are you all up to?
They want to finish their beers before they kill more innocent women.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm staying out of sight right now and practicing like my me ma moo, just to get really into that mode, you know. Not that I know anything about like how to speak human. I'm just gonna be flapping my little toad mouth.
It's just rivets. You're doing a real good job of like trying to imitate how humans move their like face holes all weird.
Leather yellow.
Is there a way that I'm like, I don't know, underneath the table, am I like pulling your toes so you know when to open your mouth when I talk? Like,
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Todd. Like,
Yeah, I think I have one of my legs like spread way back so that it sort of
Extended
dangles
leg.
off the table a little bit.
Now, did you all get down from the windowsill?
I think we're just practicing on the windowsill. So if anyone looks up, they'll be like maybe a bit concerned, but maybe they're drunk and they won't realize it.
I think this is kind of important to ask. Is there anything that Todd and Bonnie are doing that would give Rodney the indication that they have something planned?
I think we
I don't
just look
think so.
schemy.
We just
He
like
doesn't look
Rodney's
schemy.
gonna like look over and then watch me just yanking Todd's leg and him just like opening his mouth, and be like, that tracks.
Okay,
That's
okay.
normal.
Okay, so Rodney's not gonna do anything, not yet. But because what I was thinking of during the break was, I was like, I know how I want to play this as the player, but role playing as a bird, is Rodney gonna have the foresight to wait and not immediately try to peck the eyes out of the person that is openly admitting to murdering his
Will
mom?
instinct take over?
I mean, I will
Yeah.
say, with all your levels of clever, I don't know if Rodney would particularly know exactly what's going on with Todd and Bon Bon. Like, they do weird stuff all the time. So this may be
I
a
think
plan.
Rodney is gonna look at Bon Bon yanking Todd's leg to like maneuver him like a puppet and think, you know what, I'm gonna trust the process.
Incredible.
I'm gonna wait to see how this plays out. Maybe they're going
Amazing.
somewhere with this. I don't know.
Piggy and Mozzie, how much of that song do you think you all understood?
I think Mozzie doesn't understand all of it, but she clocks a few words like witch for sure, and maybe the tone of sort of like this boastful, somewhat aggressive sort of way that they're singing. So I think she maybe has some kind of idea, but I just want to try. Can I try and like sniff out which one of them might have like a scent that we would have gotten around the cape scrap or around that footprint we found?
Yeah, which one fits the scent?
Yeah, to see if I can find a match.
Yeah, so that would be a simple roll. Give me a clever roll. Simple 6.
All right. Let's try. It is a 2. 2 plus 2, so it's 4.
Okay.
Sadly.
And I will say, because of the cloud cover from Piggy's spell, this would be dangerous otherwise, because you have to get pretty close to sniff around. But there is some kind of cover for you here, so there's no danger at that. However, it just smells like Piggy everywhere. Like, Piggy has just been running around getting mud and stink on everything. So you don't really know which one.
Yeah, so fair.
It's just a bunch of tall legs underneath this table.
Yeah. Piggy, I can't quite figure out which one is the one we're looking for. Do you have an idea?
So, Piggy, with this command of hunt down the eyes, seems to have perhaps unlocked a little something inside Piggy. And just like with the witch, how Piggy would always see a light halo around the witch, Piggy maybe is picking up a dark halo around something or someone, and he's never seen this before, but all of a sudden this table is drawing his attention, and that little evil get the eyes voice is growing inside of Piggy in a way that he does not necessarily know how to control.
What do you do, Piggy?
I think Piggy's starting to almost like an animal putting down his snout and starting to claw at the ground like a bull, like a little piggy revving up and getting ready to charge somewhere really hard into the leg of someone that's got a really dark aura, and Piggy is not very happy about this. And unless someone stops him, Piggy's getting ready to unleash.
Nazi, you see this. What do you do?
I feel like I'm also incensed and like want to have this vindication. If you can see, if you know who it is, go.
Alright, Piggy goes.
He doesn't.
Oh, with Mozzie's blessing.
But he's going.
But he's going.
Go.
All
Okay,
right.
I have
Mozzie's
something
like,
to say
trust
real
the
quick.
intrusive thought. Just go
Trust-
with it.
Say the
A
quiet part
fun
loud.
fact about pigs is that when domestic pigs escape into the wild and live among wild pigs, they develop the physical attributes of wild pigs. Like if they don't have tusks, they will grow tusks and their hair will grow longer and everything.
Animal facts.
I don't know if you can. I don't think that whenever, like, if they're recaptured, they lose that, to be honest. I think it's just, like, they only become wilder when they escape. But I think that's kind of how I'm imagining Piggy right now, to be honest.
This has been a
The
turning
witch was the
point.
only thing keeping
Yeah.
Piggy grounded.
Was the
Amazing.
Halo / witch.
Yeah.
So, Scott, do you have access to a D6?
I will just roll till I get a number from 1 to 6.
Let me roll it in Google. Good old Google. So I will do a secret roll here, and depending on what I get, I'll see if you pick the right person to attack.
I love this.
Okay, good to know. Go ahead and give me a fierce roll. It is going to be basic, and there is danger as you are ramming yourself into the legs of some bigger creature.
Okay, here we go. We rolled a 4. My fierce is 1, so I got a 5.
Okay, so it is not enough for a basic 7. So describe what you're doing to like ram into this person or to like attack them with this ferocity.
Well, given that this is not something Piggy has ever done, he has no idea of what he's doing, because normally he runs in circles and away from things, but seeing this dark aura makes him want to run toward things. So he's trying to run toward things. That's his goal. Really has no idea what he's running toward or how this even works, or when you put a head down and run into something, what. But I like that idea of that, this sort of more primal, like if he had horns, this is what he would do, but he doesn't. So he's kind of hitting into whatever with no horns, but it would be what would be successful if he had horns. So it's probably not going to go particularly well, but that's his goal.
Amazing. So with the failed fierce roll, it indeed does not go well. So go ahead and mark a point of danger on your sheet.
More danger.
So when you guys were all at the house, you were doing things and you had a chance to succeed or fail, but now that you're out in this human world, things are a little bit more dangerous. So if a task is dangerous and you fail, you gain a point of danger. If you roll equal to, pause. And then if you roll equal to or under your danger, so let's say you've accumulated 3 danger, if you ever roll 3 danger or under it, you're in trouble. So I'll tell you kind of the effect of, hitting that danger roll. So that's something to keep in mind, is where you're at with your danger level. And then on all your rolls, if you're hitting that number under, just let me know that things got a little spicy. Okay, so Piggy, Mozzie, you see, you're like, which one? Do you have any sense? And then, boom, this like flash of Piggy, somehow more primal than you're used to seeing, rushes past you and rams into the legs, not of the one who said, I killed the witch, but the one that was like, yeah, good job. And so, Piggy, you ran smack into his legs.
Accomplice.
Because you're so close to his feet, a discerning eye would notice that the mark on your head that marks the length of the footprint does not match. However, you make contact and you hear the human above you say, "Whoa, what the? Is something under there?" And he just begins like kicking at you. And so with that point of danger, you kind of like have these feet, these like heavily booted feet, just like scrabbling at you. And it's almost like being in a car wash. Like there's just a lot of movement and mechanics of things that are not supposed to be happening, but they're happening. And you're flying up and down underneath this table. Mozzie, you see this. Rodney, all you're seeing is the puppet show above the table surface. Piggy, what do you do? Mozzie, what are you doing?
Piggy, what do you do?
I mean, if this didn't work, I would imagine then sort of primal mode would flick off, and I'd go back into coward mode, and sort of run cowarding in the corner, trying to just become safe. So
Yeah.
That was my moment of heroism, and now it's like that didn't work, and that moment's gone, and I'm out of here.
So go ahead and remove that point of danger, because it says when you run away from your problems, you remove your danger.
There you go. We're
That's a
running
life
away
lesson
from
right
our
there.
problems.
What about when we negotiate
such a
our
mood.
problems with steroids?
That's getting into more
I guess
problems,
it
I
was
would
the tree I
argue.
ran into, not the squirrel.
So Piggy, you kind of retreat, that chaotic jostling of your body, and kind of you didn't know which way was up, which way was down. All you saw was the beacon of Mozzie's tail, and you tried to keep an eye on that. But now that you've retreated away from those kicking feet, you feel a little bit more safe. Mozzie, you're not sure which one is your target here, but you do know that these feet were kicking at and hurting Piggy. Up above, what's going on with the puppet show?
A puppet show.
Dun, dun,
I'm
dun,
I'm
dun.
feeling real limber.
I think we
Really?
figured out our
What
pacing.
they're-
Like we figured out our pacing really well. We've developed a backstory, haven't we, Todd? For the I guess the transformed comrade that you'll be playing in this scene.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really in depth and honestly a little bit tragic.
We're
Um,
clearly prepared.
Yeah.
Should we just jump down there?
Yeah, I think we should just go for it.
I think we should just go for it.
It's
I'm
at that
feeling
really
real
good point in the song where we could have that moment where we jump down and have our spoken interlude.
Mm-hmm.
That fits really well into
So
the
I'm
music.
assuming you'll jump down and I'll just kind of try to swoop under the table.
Yeah.
So that I can, leg pull from underneath the conversation.
So I will
think I'm
say,
a little bit nervous because the last time I tried to jump down with my cape flowing and do the cool cape whip thing, it did not work out. So I'm really hoping it does this time.
I will say you are at a high height on this window, so you could attempt to fly over there together. That would be a risk, kind of weird, heavy potentially, and attracting attention. Jumping down, it's really dusty. It seems like someone cast some kind of confusion spell down there, perhaps. And the height of the table is such that as a frog, you can easily make it up to the laps of the individuals sitting around the table, Todd. To get back up to the table height itself might be a little bit more difficult. You really have to put your back legs into it. So that's kind of your perception of these challenges.
Do you want to try flying me in there, Bonbon?
Can I airdrop you? Is that a thing I can do? You just kind of maneuver down to the landing pad that is the table?
Yeah, I think we could do that. I've seen butterflies land, and that's kind of like what a cape is, right?
You are close to a butterfly with a cape.
Yeah, basically.
Basically a butterfly.
He's not.
This is
Would this
the
be,
most butterfly-looking toad.
I guess mine would be fierce.
Yeah, so
The
describe
feat of strength.
describe what it looks like as you prepare Bonbon to pick up Todd and airdrop.
I'm going to just clasp each of my little my two little bird legs on, I guess, the equivalent of what would be Todd's wrists. And having Todd we almost try to lock this.
Amazing.
Because we've figured this out.
Incredible.
And I'll start with a slow flap, trying to get more of my entire wingspan up before I take flight.
I'm bobbing up and down with my legs to help with
Maybe
that.
you're helping launch us off with your back legs, and this is a great a terrifying animal totem pole that's just
Listen, teamwork makes the dream work, and we're gonna do this.
Incredible. Give me a fierce roll. It is a challenge of 8, and it's dangerous.
Are we both doing it?
This is
7
for-
plus 1?
For Bonbon first, and then we'll see what happens.
7 plus 1, so 8.
Okay, so you take flight,
Okay.
Bonbon, and you have enough strength to lift Todd up. You are careening through this filled tavern. There's people standing up to get more drinks. There's people kind of making small talk. There's people dancing raucously around. And you are zooming through them, heading towards this table that contains the cloaks of the people that killed your mother, the witch. Todd, you are dangling, but you have the ability to kind of help kick off of things if need be. So give me a fierce roll as well as you're pushing and kind of helping navigate. This is a challenge, danger as well.
10.
Perfect. You guys are nimbly making your way through this crowded tavern with dexterity, with poise. Some people are drunk enough that they think they saw a bird carrying a frog fly past them, and you kind of hear some folks muttering was it a bird with a frog? It's so weird. It's so weird. Did you? Oh, yeah.
They're at their drink, just, I don't know, maybe I should stop.
Someone sees you through the beer, and the frog eyes get even bigger through the glass as it zooms past. But you make your way to the table. Where would you like to land?
Right in the center. Right in the middle of the table. But right where there's a hole so that Bonbon can comfortably go under the table and I can stick my leg down the hole.
Perfect.
So I guess when they have outdoor tables and they normally can put the umbrella in that centerpiece, but clearly they brought them in for I don't know, the fall season. It's not outdoor eating weather.
Why would you waste a
Amazing.
perfectly good table? Okay, so just bring it in.
So, yes, there is a hole there. Mozzie and Piggy, you see a frog leg dangling down through the top of the table. And Rodney, you're just watching all of this happen. I know you had some restraint before. What is Rodney thinking at this point?
He is like, I gotta see how this plays out. Like, what are they doing from there? I don't know what's going on. Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's fair. It's fair. So Todd and Bon Bon in the middle of the table, while there is noise all around you, this table in particular grows quiet. They had been singing at each other, very excited, animated, and as they finished the dregs of their beer and kind of crashed those heavy glass bottoms onto the table, the one that was kind of standing, leaning forward, looks at you, a little bleary-eyed. The hell is that?
I stretch out my toes in readiness.
So I guess I'm yanking on your toe in between underneath the table, right?
Yeah. So every yank, I have to open my mouth like a human. I think
So
that's how
Bon
it
Bon,
works.
you're kind of hovering underneath the table then, right?
Yes.
Flapping your wings. Okay, I'm gonna
just
have
with
I'm
my
gonna have you
beak
do
just pulling a toe.
I'm gonna have
I
you do
guess.
periodic fierce rolls to like maintain, because you're not like a hummingbird, you know, you have to kind of maintain
No.
that position. All right, so you're able to do it at the get-go, but
Mm-hmm.
it is, you're feeling like that strain on your wings. So Mozzie and Piggy, you actually see Bon Bon like fluttering above you underneath the table with this dangling frog leg.
Could we get underneath Bon Bon to support, to like
You can certainly try.
a platform? Yeah.
Platform.
Yeah.
Is this
A
Chenrod's animal
non-moving
power?
platform.
Yeah. I'll try and position myself as a steady sort of platform for Bon Bon.
Okay, how are you doing that? Are you, I mean, it's a tall table. You're a tiny
It's
fox.
a tall table.
Wait, get on my back.
You have to promise you won't move this time.
No promises.
All right. I'll try anyways.
Absolutely not.
All right, Piggy, give me a fierce roll to resist running around manically. Challenge of 8, and I would say it's dangerous because you just got kicked and you're going back into the kick zone.
Back into the kick zone.
Into the kick
zone.
zone.
I rolled a 10, a natural 10.
Hey! Congratulations. So you are able to resist your own urge to run around manically. You are a steady platform. And Mozzie, can you give me a kind of a, I think, quick for climbing, perhaps? And this is challenge 8.
Okay, all right. Quick. It's a 4.
Oh no. So you are unable to climb to the heights you need. I will say, because you're positioning yourself in a strange way on top of Piggy's back, your tail maybe gets a little closer to Piggy than you would have hoped. And Piggy, you start to smell the singe of
Bacon.
pork.
Bacon!
Bacon.
Oh
Bacon and like
Smells
burnt
good.
hair.
So all this is happening underneath you, Bon Bon. We'll get back to that in a second. Up above the table, Todd, you see these individuals. One of them is like, "Does the food no longer get cooked here?" And the other one's like, "I don't know. Why is it alive? Shall we kill it?"
They're doing this in song.
I'm leaning in.
It's a musical, remember?
Am I supposed
We're
to
in
be
the middle of a Disney
Todd's-
musical.
Am I
Okay.
supposed to be Todd's voice? So I don't know what's happening up there. Am I just guesstimating based on what I hear?
So you can hear them through the table, and your experience with human speech, I think, would allow you to hear this.
Okay.
It's muffled, but I'd say you can make it out.
And I don't know what they're saying because I don't speak human. So I have to
guess-
act as human as possible. This is gonna be
Toe
fun.
pulling is what's happening. Beak
yank
on,
that toe.
tugging. You're like, it is I, River, and just like, I was a part of another squad, and I was turned into a toad by that awful witch. Look at what happened to me. I'm all bumpy and lumpy and green. You have to help me, please. You have to help. I'm one of you. I'm one of you. Look at my cape. I'm one of you.
Just look at.
Oh my god. There has never been a better role for interact with humans. Give me a clever roll. I'm gonna say this is a difficult
Fantastic.
9.
Oh man.
I rolled another 7.
Does Rodney
Hold
hear
on.
this?
Yes, Rodney, you hear the voice of Bonbon under the table. Whether you understand it all is up to
I
you.
do want to.
I'm
I'm
just
hoping that I
eking
understand it all,
So I
but-
got a 7 plus 2 for my clever. So I rolled a 7 twice in a row, and I need that to keep happening. Thank you, Google. Thank you.
Oh
when
my
the Overlord
God.
takes over. Thank you.
That's a success.
So that's a success.
Rodney, do you want to
Wow.
interact with this?
I was just gonna say that I was gonna be like, I was gonna say that I realized that it's going down and I need to be ready to like scoop up Todd if something happens. I still feel that way, but I feel relatively convinced by the performance, and I'm gonna wait to see if
Yeah. So you can drop down maybe on a lower level of the chandelier, getting ready to swoop down if necessary.
I'll drop down on a lower level.
So I will say in
And
this
I
very
kinda, like,
moment. Oh, go
Get my
ahead.
little bird feet ready for launch if I need to, you know.
Incredible. As you're on the lower level, Rodney, you actually look across on another chandelier at another table, and you see kind of a mourning dove sitting there on one of the candles on the lower rung, and she looks over at you and just like gives like a big wink and doesn't say anything.
Wait, what? This happened to me?
Yep. Mourning dove, other
A
chandelier,
morning dove is flirting with me?
big ol' wink.
Ooh.
I ship it. I don't understand why, but I
Rodney's
do.
gonna like kind of shimmy his bowler hat a little better into place and like wink back at her.
The mourning dove ruffles its feathers and kind of hops over to a tier closer to you on their chandelier.
I mean, Rodney's not gonna move any closer to her, but he's gonna give her like a dumb Heather look, you know.
Cross-cut with Piggy on fire underneath the table. In this very moment that Bonbon and Todd have created this performance, all of this is happening simultaneously. Mozzie and Piggy, what's happening?
So
You're on
much going
fire.
on right now.
Well, I think fire should be shared. And there's all these legs
A
and
wonderful
pants and
philosophy.
socks around here. So perhaps it's time to put on some Piggy pass the flame skills and run around a little bit around the legs and see if everyone can enjoy some fire.
It's hot potato, but hot piggy.
There you go.
Piggy.
Amazing.
Hot potato.
Piggy, give me a quick roll. This is a challenge 8 and it's dangerous.
All right. Well, I live for more danger. I rolled a 4, my favorite number. My quickest 3, so I got a total of 7.
You know what? I was on the fence with this. I was going to change it mid-stream. I'm comfortable changing it to a basic for you because you're fast and it's under a table. And there's nothing particularly challenging about lighting people on fire.
When you yourself are on fire.
When you yourself are also on fire.
So I was on the fence with it, but seeing that you hit the number that I was on the fence about, GM ruling, I'm ruling that as a success. Are you all okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
Peak chaos.
So, Piggy, you do not take a point of danger. However, you do find that the darkness that you had seen, that dark aura, is no longer visible because everything is on fire underneath this
Okay.
table.
Everything is on fire.
The pant legs ignite. There's like a small smoldering at the hem.
Everything will burn.
And the flames
my
begin
gosh.
to creep up on all of the pant legs.
Flames on the side of my face. Burning. Fire.
Can I look, as Piggy is running by all of these pant legs, can I try and see if any of the boot sizes match the mark on Piggy's?
While
Yes.
he runs by, just be like, all right, does that fall within the tolerance of the demarcations we've made?
Absolutely. I will say yes. With your elimination of one of the suspects, as you run past, you're able to see that the figure in the center, with the sturdiest looking boots with steel toes on the tip of the toe, fits the length of a piggy.
Oh, Piggy, that one! It's that one!
They're all burning.
Yes!
Piggy's
Mean-
not picky at
That's
this point.
Yeah!
Meanwhile, one level below the flirting and above the flames is Todd. Todd, you are on the table, speaking truth to these three individuals, and they have not yet noticed that they are all on fire. The tall one in the middle, who had proudly proclaimed that he killed a witch last night, leans very, very close to your face, and you can see every kind of pore on this human's face. The eyes are so close to you, and he peers at you and says, "Huh, turned into a frog. Well, that is unfortunate, as we ourselves are transformed creatures sent to save them. I don't know how to change you back."
At this point,
Ribbit.
I think
Ribbit.
Bonbon has realized that they are all speaking in song, and Bonbon is not speaking in song.
What have I done?
Bonbon is not a singer. Bonbon is a speaker. Speech and debate for birds, not choir.
She was a speech and debate bird.
Bonbon is like, well, how can you help us? I am having a bad time. Just completely loses all eloquence when trying to sing at the same time.
The individual looks at you, Todd, eye to eye. Yeah, of course, their face much bigger than your own, and kind of like looks back at their friends and then says, "Well, we can take you to Mother, and Mother might be able to fix you."
I don't know if I should be doing like echoing, but I'm like, take me to Mother, to Mother, to Mother, to Mother.
Oh,
In a
what's
minor
up?
keys.
Hell yeah, welcome in, Raiders.
Welcome, Raiders. You are
Great time for a raid.
you're here for our musical interlude.
Excellent time for a raid.
I
We've
picture
broken
the
out
Raiders
into
like a
song.
flash mob appearing in the back of the tavern, and then
Oh
they
my
break out into
gosh.
this giant
The
flash
Disney
mob
flash
song
mob.
here.
Please, Raiders, make sure you're also singing. Thank you.
Buckle up, Raiders. You have joined The Witch is Dead and the Killers of the Witch only speak in song. And I hope you enjoy this. Welcome in. So, Todd, you... Bonbon, through Todd's frog mouth, says, "We're having a bad time." And the individual straightens up, removing the eyes, those precious, precious eyes that you need to bring your mother back away from you, Todd. And he looks next to the folks to his left and right and says, "Well, if this frog is our brother, we must take him to Mother and kill more witches." And the two on the side say, "Kill witches, kill witches." And they begin stomping around. As they stomp, though, Piggy and Mozzie, underneath the table, you see the flames are traveling up the trouser leg, and it's beginning to smoke under the table. So it's actually getting a little tough for you two to breathe under here. Bonbon, I need you to make me a fierce roll. that's going to be a challenge of 8, and it's dangerous because if you fail, you're in this smoky area under the table.
Oof, my luck ran out. I have a 1+1.
Uh-oh.
All right, so go ahead and take a point of danger. Your wings have been pumping furiously under the table to keep you aloft so that you can tell Todd what to do with Todd's mouth to imitate human speech in this elaborate ruse. But unfortunately, your muscles tire, and you kind of flutter back down to the ground, coughing on the thick smoke that's coming out of the flames that have erupted off of all of these trouser legs that Piggy has, in like almost a pyromanical phase of Piggy's life, lit on fire and is now cackling about it underneath the
They
table.
will all burn.
Am I taking Todd with me, or am I like...
Todd, you feel a tug on your toe and your leg kind of goes through the table hole, and then you feel nothing.
I
As
think
I'm
too, if it's
following-
hot, I'm gonna take my leg out of the hole. I'm not gonna let my leg be on fire.
Yeah, you
As I'm
remove your
falling,
leg.
I
It's
have
very
to commit
smoky
to the bed.
scented.
As I'm falling, I have to commit to the myth, but I'm like, oh no, the light is back again, I'm transforming! And then ribbits happen.
Ribbit.
So previously, the talking frog had been making sense to these folks, and now no longer talking. They're like, wait, what has happened? We must get this frog to Mother, and must kill that other witch, and save our brother before sundown. And so the 3 individuals scoop you up, Todd. If you are doing anything to resist it, let me know. But this huge hand comes down onto the table, whoosh, and you are aloft in the hand that probably killed your mother the night before.
Ribbit.
I think I'm not really sure what to do because I was kind of hoping that Bonbon was the brains of this operation. I was just the the initial idea guy. I wasn't the follow through guy.
Bonbon skipped wing day, and this is where we're at.
Never skip wing day.
Never skip wing day.
So I think I'm doing the thing that I always do when I'm afraid, and I curl up into a ball under my cape.
Yes, they look at you and see the burgundy cape. It matches the cape that they themselves wear. And I believe they are entirely convinced that the story was true. So they're not harming you. You are safely transported in this individual's hand. You are actually kind of perched maybe up on his shoulder. And again, you see those eyes, those glinting eyes, as he looks down at you and says, "We'll get you some help, young brother," and pats your head. Underneath the table, Bonbon, you are in a thick fog of smoke with Piggy and Mozzie. And it's at that
Welcome
moment.
to hell.
It's just like inside
Oh
Piggy
my
lives
God.
two pigs.
Inside everyone is 2 pigs, Piggy and Piggy.
And you never should have pork. Well done.
Oh my god.
It's that moment the individuals above you realize they're on fire. So I need all 3 of you to make quick rolls. Mozzie, Piggy, and also Bonbon. This is I would say, let's go with basic, but with danger. So it's a 7, but there's danger involved as all of these feet begin to stomp around and there's yelling like, a flame, as they try to put out their flaming pans.
Rolling?
It's quick.
Quick. I got a 5. 5 plus 2.
I have a 9.
I have a total of 8.
All right, so only Bonbon fails this roll as our ground-clad creatures, Piggy and Mozzie, who are used to running around, are able to scamper out of the way. Bonbon, you take a point of danger. How many danger do you have right now?
I have 2.
Okay, so if you hit a 2 or under, that is you trigger the danger state. But in this situation, you're unable to dodge, and one of your wings is pinned underneath the foot of one of these individuals. You can no longer move in this moment as they're kind of patting at their leg. Ah! Ah! A flame! A flame! As they're all patting out their pants. Rodney, above everything, sees all of this and also sees that mourning dove.
How could you put me in this position?
That happens later.
Oh! 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 Oh!
Rodney's gonna look at
And
this
let
mourning
it.
dove. Rodney's gonna look back down at the chaos down below. Rodney's gonna look back at this mourning dove and say, I don't know. I mean, in this moment, he has to wonder: would she understand him if he just said something to her, or is she sentient like he is, or does he just make a bird noise and then leave?
Well, you were able to talk to Jeffrey.
Yeah, you can talk
He
to
was
other
just like
animals.
This is true.
Like a regular squirrel.
Regular. All right. Rodney's gonna say, "I'm coming back for you," and he's gonna fly off and follow. I guess what he's gonna do is he's gonna follow Todd in the hand of this human person, and like kind of at a distance, so where the guy doesn't really notice him. But he's gonna follow.
Awesome.
I think he's gonna trust the rest of the crew to kind of. I mean, he
Stay
doesn't
alive.
know. Does he know that they're on fire?
He
Is the whole table on
see
fire?
the kind of tablecloth at the bottom is singeing, and all of the pants are very clearly on fire at this point. Actually, Todd, you're kind of jostled around as the killer of the witch that raised you kind of bends over and is like hitting at his pant leg to put out the flames. So he does come pretty low to the ground, Mozzie and Piggy, as he's like stamping out the flame. And Todd, you kind of have to, keep your balance. So you do see this, Rodney. As you say that to the mourning dove as you fly down, she kind of gives a little coo and says, "Well, I'll be here."
Gosh.
Imagine Rodney does like one of those cool things where he just like falls backwards like into like a cool little flight thing. Like he has to do it.
Yeah.
The hat stays on the whole time, and that's the important part.
That's the important part. Yeah, exactly.
Rodney, give me
Almost as though there's oven bake adhesive on it or something.
give me a sly roll,
Yeah,
Rodney.
he's gonna follow, and like I think he's just gonna he's probably gonna take the table and everybody's pants being on fire as a sign of a job well done,
Mhm.
rather than a sign of like danger, like they can't handle themselves. So he's
That's
gonna
fair.
fly after Todd since he's the one that's been separated from the rest of the group.
Give me a sly roll as you pursue Todd on the shoulder of this individual. That would be a basic 7 with some danger.
That'll be a 3.
All right. So in your, you're a little distracted by the mourning dove. You keep
I
looking
was
back
too
up.
focused on being cool for her.
Yep. A lot of looking back. A lot of like trying to catch yourself in a reflection to see if you look as good as you think you do, and you fly like straight into a mirror that was on the wall.
How apropos.
And you hear from above you, "Ooh," and you can't quite tell if it's impressed or laughing or maybe a little bit of both.
Your second head-on collision today.
But you do slide down this mirror, maintaining your hat this
Again.
time,
This time the hat stays on, okay.
but unable to pursue Todd. And actually, I think you would be kind of more on par with Mozzie and Piggy. And so you're also face to face with the individual. Todd, you're on their shoulder. We'll just call him the killer. So the killer has kind of stooped over, and so you're kind of on the same like plane as them at the moment. But Todd, you're able to be elevated at any moment when they stand back up. Bonbon, you are just like pinned underneath the table at this point. Give me
A bad
another
time.
fierce roll, basic
My
7
bones
with
are
danger.
hollow. I got a 3 + 1. It's fierce, right?
Fierce, yes.
Yeah, 3 + 1. Oof, I'm having a bad time.
Okay, so you are unable to break away. You're pinned under the table, and the smoke is causing you to cough little bird coughs.
Bird lungs
Her
are super
fragile little
sensitive.
bird
Can confirm.
lungs.
Gonna have a bad time.
The killer stands up, unless y'all want to do something when the killer's in your zone.
What I want to know is if Rodney sees Bon Bon underneath the table suffering.
Oh yeah, as you slid down that mirror, you were absolutely face to face with Bon Bon.
I feel like Rodney's eyes lock with Bon Bon's as she does her pitiful little bird coughs. And he's like, oh shit. So he's gonna like go and try to like get her out of there.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I mean, I think that are crows larger than magpies, or are they about the same size? I think crows are a little bit bigger
Crows
than
are
magpies,
larger.
aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rodney's gonna go and try to like drag her out of there, scoop her up.
Oh, are you a crow? I have you both as magpies.
Oh no, I'm a crow.
Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry. The overlay has been lying this entire time.
Oh no, I thought that.
No, I have you both as magpies.
Oh shit.
That's your dynamic duo of magpies. My apologies.
Oh no. No, we're the dynamic duo of corvids.
Okay, beautiful.
Corvid crew.
So every time you see
Corvid
magpie next to Rodney's name, just think crow, everyone. But yes, so so how are you trying to break out the pinned wing?
What is it pinned underneath?
A foot.
A foot.
The foot. I mean,
The
and I can
killer's
clearly see who the foot belongs to, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's someone with their pants on fire and they're singing "A Flame."
So he's just
I'm
sitting there
so-
singing about being on fire. He's not doing anything about it.
That's what she do in the musical.
He's trying to pat
I'm
it out.
still like a part of like I'm still in the mindset of like I'm a singing human frog. So I'm like, help me, Rodney.
I mean, Rodney's gonna do something to antagonize this person and get him to move.
What do you do?
What's your
Anything.
special cantrip?
My special cantrip is Unseen Hand. What exactly does Unseen Hand do?
It's kind of like an invisible hand that can do dexterous things that your crow wings would be unable to do. Like could tie a bow, like open something. Like it's a dexterous appendage that you can control.
What is the nearest throwable object to me? Like what is the range of Unseen Hand?
Let's say it's like 30 feet.
Okay. So something within 30 feet of me, can we say that like, I don't know, like a pot pie or like a roasted chicken or something is like within 30 feet?
Yeah, which one do you want?
Let's do a pot pie. Let's go slapstick with it.
Excellent.
I want to pie this asshole.
Excellent. Yeah, you can see on the table above you at the neighboring table that did not have a frog puppet show occur on it. There is a older couple, an elderly woman and her wife, just kind of like about to dig into this pot pie that's in the center of the table. It's like steaming and the crust is nice and buttery and flaky. And they both have forks and knives and they have tucked napkins into their shirts. And they're looking at each other and they're like, "You go first, darling. No, you go first."
Why did you have to make them the
This
cutest
tavern
couple
is
possible?
just full of romance. Apart from the
I'm
fire.
just like, now I gotta feel guilty about pieing this person. Because I'm taking it from the adorable elderly lesbian couple that love each other too much to take the first bite. Yeah, I'm gonna do it because Bonnie is worth it. Bon is worth it.
All
I'm
right.
gonna take their pie, whisper a silent, not whisper a silent, but whisper a soft apology, and then smack
Awesome.
it into his face.
So give me a fierce roll. It is going to be a simple roll because you're very good at this spell. It's a 6. Does have some danger involved.
Come on. Is a 0 a 10?
Yes.
Yes.
Sweet. It's a 12.
Awesome.
Hey.
So tell me what it looks like when you
live
cast
to-
this spell.
I mean, I think, like, I'm imagining them kind of, like, sitting side by side. And I kind of imagine it, like, going on the back of his head more. Which just makes me sad, because he's gonna think that this elderly couple just took their entire entree and slammed it into his head. But I mean, that's just how it's gotta go.
That is what the day looks like today, as this unseen hand reaches up under the pie dish, and it looks to the couple that the pie is levitating, and they look to each other over the levitating pie, and they say, "Oh, we waited too long." With that, the hand flings the pie into the back of this guy's head, hot gravy dripping down his face, scalding him, and he yells, "Rah!" and lifts his foot up, and Bonbon, you are freed from underneath the foot.
Can Todd hear me?
What's that?
Can Todd hear me?
Yeah.
Because Todd is like face level, right?
Yes, yeah, I was slowly removing the killer's face in case anyone wanted to do anything.
I'm just gonna like yell, Todd, the eyes!
And I jump into motion. I spring out from my toad ball, and I think I take my cape and I fling it over the head of the killer and grab onto the edges with my hand, so it's sort of like just a way to get leverage so I can stay on this guy's head. And I think I'm gonna use holding the cape with my little frog or my little toad hands. I'm gonna use my long legs to kick up around the back of his head and tear his eyes out with my frog or my toad feet.
Suction cup toes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Incredible. I will say, with the size of your cape, though, a cape on a frog is like probably like that big, maybe like that. So like, I don't know if you could wrap it around for leverage. I'd say you could get around his ear, maybe, right?
Sounds about right.
So I'll give you like, maybe you're like leveraging that on the ear, and you can get a couple of those legs around on one side of the face, but I feel like going around the whole back might be like a really intense use of this tiny scrap of cloth.
That's totally fair.
What's your cantrip?
Mine is plant growth.
I was like, I forgot we had cantrips until like maybe now. So I was like, let me just ask what everyone's in.
Yeah.
In case it'll be helpful.
Yeah, did you guys want to go and say yours too? Mozzie and is it no, Rodney used theirs. Just Mozzie, right?
I just used Unseen Hand.
It's
the
make
pie.
flame for Ozzy, so it's more of the same.
Inherent characteristic.
Well, I mean, your tail's already on fire, so make flame is going to be even more intense.
Yeah.
So Todd, you have this cape wrapped around the ear, because I imagine it like you're kind of like using it for like holding on, right?
I think I'm doing that thing where I sort of like slingshot my way around, just to hold on. And I don't know, there's got to be some kind of word for this. It's kind of like what rock climbers do.
Awesome.
To hold on.
Holding someone's face.
Yeah. That's normal, right? That's what rock climbers do.
Belaying?
Yes, belaying.
Belaying.
Word of the
Oh my
day.
God.
It sounds like there's a difference between what's in Todd's mind that's going to happen. But in Todd's mind, the cape is massive. This is exactly what's going to happen. The cape of +0, which builds confidence.
Yeah.
The reality, however, is a little different.
As Todd dangles from the ear, give me a fierce roll, please. It is a challenge 8, and there's some danger here.
Is there anything that any of us can do to help, like distraction-wise, or like?
Yeah, you could
So,
do
like,
something in
his
this moment to add on
hands is, like,
narratively.
mobilize so he can't take this flying frog off his face.
What do you do? Bonbon, you're free. You're in flight. Rodney,
Is my
you.
wing broken?
No, it is not, because you
Okay.
did not hit your danger level.
Okay, cool, great.
Rodney, you saw Bonbon take flight. Piggy, you still got the flames flickering in your eyes.
Well, I mean, what I have done so far is imitate Todd. Todd is making a leap, and therefore Piggy is going to try to make the same leap Todd is making. Of course,
Amazing.
Piggy's on the ground, and he's not going to get very high, but, he tries. So Piggy's just going to make a try, just like following his hero, Todd.
Give me a fierce roll. Challenge
Oh,
10? I mean,
this will be
it's
fantastic.
very tall.
Here we go. This is the time to roll. I rolled an 8. My fierce is 1, so a 9.
So close.
Oh,
So close. So take a point of danger, Piggy.
All right.
Todd, what did you get on yours?
I haven't rolled it yet. I'm gonna do it right now.
Can I try and grab like the pant leg of the killer and just like at least try and like tug him to
Sure.
maybe destabilize him a bit?
Give me a fierce as well. Challenge 7 for you, Mozzie. What'd you get, Todd?
I got
It's a 5 for me.
1.
Take a point of danger.
Is the killer on fire?
Yes,
Everyone is, I guess.
everyone is. They're not happy about it.
Fire.
All
Collective
burgundy cloak
bonfire.
guys, at least. The nice lesbian couple, they're not on fire. They just don't have a pie.
Yeah, Rodney, if you look over at them, they're kind of doing that thing where they're trying to get the waiter's attention. They're like, we'd like to order, excuse me.
Protect the lesbians.
Mozzie, what'd you
Lesbian
get?
couple at all costs.
I know, for real. But, okay, what I really want to know is there any, are there any lanterns with, lantern oil, or
Oh,
is
yeah.
there any hard liquor
Oh, yeah,
somewhere?
all of the above. Liquor
Flammable
behind the bar,
liquids?
on the tables, lanterns on the walls. Mozzie, what'd you get?
It was a failure. I got a 5.
Okay, take a point of danger.
Yeah.
So we've got Todd launching one delicate frog toe towards the eyeball, correct? And you failed, correct? Spectacularly?
Yeah, big time.
Okay. Piggy, did anyone succeed?
No.
Okay. Piggy trying to leap up in like a Matrix style disruption of space-time and reality and just kind of flops onto your belly right at the feet of the killer. And Mozzie, you were trying to hold on, correct?
Yeah, to just like snag the pant leg and
Okay.
yank on them.
So I would say maybe you miss the pant leg, and in turning and missing, you light the tablecloth of the adjacent table on fire. And so
Not the
now
lesbians table.
Not the lesbians!
the table's on fire of the next door neighbor.
No.
Run away, elderly lesbians.
We have to save the lesbians. We have to.
That was a hot time tonight in the town.
Mrs. O'Leary's cow has nothing on you guys.
This is like some bizarre Brazilian steakhouse where they deliver the flaming animals to your table.
Incredible. Todd, I think your arc of your toe, you're like thinking of it as an intense weapon, avenging your mother for your mother. And there's just like a as your like little wet toe just like pokes him in the eye. And he's like, oh, it hurts. What is this? And he's just scrabbling at you. Why did you betray me, brother?
This would be a really good time to discover if I am poisonous or not.
Ooh. Do you have a D6 handy?
I do.
Evens you are, odds you are not.
Okay, hold on, because I feel like I want to suggest something.
Yeah, go for it.
Because Todd could just be like garden variety poisonous, or I remember Todd mentioning something about being licked, and we all know what it means to lick the toad, right? Like, what if this guy just starts tripping balls?
So I'll
I
say
think that would be hilarious.
If you get a 6.
evens you get some sort of property up to you what, and then odds you are just a toad.
I rolled a
Just
2.
slimy.
Yay! So would you like to be poisonous or psychedelic?
Well, I'm gonna be psychedelic. I want to add to this
There we
chaos.
go.
Amazing.
Just to make the more chaos. Let's have more just entropy, everything.
There's
Bon
a way
Bon
but
would
it's
like to
rad.
participate in
This guy's
what
fabric
this-
of reality is unraveling while all
Yeah.
this is happening.
The killer kind of swats at you and says, like, why did you do this? And then for a moment he stops and he's like, oh, and his eyes dilate and then get very, very small and then get very, very big, the pupils. And all of you, with the pupils so enlarged, just think, the eyes, mother, the eyes. And the eyes are like wild, like completely, he can barely like see because the light is so bright. And he begins stumbling around, lighting more tables on fire, as all of the patrons at this point have begun to get up and run around. The bartender is running around trying to douse the flames. Everything is dangerous right now because the entire place is chaotic and on fire. So,
I think my failure when I tried to tear out the killer's eyes was so spectacular because I did roll a 1 that I am actually caught up in the cape, and my little toe is now stuck in his eye. So I think I'm just sort of stuck wrapped around his head for the moment.
amazing. You're like really dangerous psychedelic glasses that have kind of gone askew. With your toe lodged in his eye, the eye that your toe is touching continuously begins to get like little swirls in it, and like just like bloodshot red, and just like it's swelling, and he's like, oh, and he can barely make words or sentences as he kind of like stumbles around, and his friends are like, brother, what's wrong with you? Has this frog enchanted you too? He's heading for the exit though.
Okay.
Bon Bon is going to try something. Because this guy's just tripping balls straight up, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing he's just highly suggestible at this point.
Only one way to find out.
You gonna Charles Manson this guy? Sorry.
What do you guys think? Do you want me to try to say something that would stop him in his tracks? And like make him question his existence? Or
Say
like,
something about his mom.
your mom was a witch? You killing all these witches who are actually just trying to kill her. It can't bring back your childhood.
You do what Bon Bon would do.
Bon Bon's a shit stirrer. I think that's just what we've learned. Like Bon Bon's a shit stirrer.
Bon Bon's gonna psychological warfare this guy. I
Bon
fucking love
Bon's
it.
psychological. I would like to fly up and just start whispering things that you would tell a therapist that are like have to do with mother witch issues. Just anything that I can think of from all of the like random things I've heard, like, cause people go to the tavern, they spill their stories and their backgrounds to the bartender, and I'm just like, let's take all the bits and bobs and just make it a stew and see what sticks. That's gonna be Bon Bon's approach.
Bon Bon's gonna find his mother wound and stick her little magpie toe in it.
Roll clever. It's going to be an 8. Dangerous.
Okay, wait, 8 dangerous? 7 plus 2. Oh, 9. I have 7 plus 2. Sorry.
All
I
right.
had to do math.
So what exactly does Bon Bon say as you're kind of hanging out right by Todd, in the ear that Todd is kind of wrapped around? What do you say in the ear of the killer?
Be like, he didn't say his name, just son. All those witches you tried to kill. You can't get to me anymore. You tried, but you can't escape who you are and your fate. And Bon Bon has no idea what she's saying. She's like, these are random bits.
Were you spying on therapy sessions in town?
I was just hearing people spill their drunken guts to the bartender every time I was in the tavern. I'm just like pulling little bits of that. No matter how much you chase, you're never going to be satisfied until you're satisfied with yourself. I think you need to sit down and take a good long look at yourself in the mirror. I'm just trying to get him to stay still, to be clear.
You're trying to get a guy that's tripping balls to take a long, hard look at himself in the mirror. That'll be fun for him.
Could I guess maybe, could I try to use fierce? Like, I don't know how much has this disarmed him, I guess, is what I'm going to
Well, do
ask.
you want to see the results of this, or do you want to do something else in tandem with this?
I would like to also put my birdie claws on either side of one of his eyes.
Okay.
Hoping that he's not, like thinking about it while I'm just whispering really close to his face.
Okay. Give me a fierce roll then. And that will be, I will say it's a 7 basic because of the kind of things you've been saying to him to distract him.
2 + 1.
Okay.
3.
Take a point of danger.
Right.
And did you roll at or under your danger level?
So I had a danger level of 2. I rolled a 2, and then +1 for the fierce.
Oh, okay. So a 3 total.
Yeah.
And you have 3 danger?
I had 2 danger, and now I have 3
Oh, okay.
after failing.
Okay. So you're good on this one because you added it after, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So as you go to put the claws on him, so you're unable to find purchase, mostly because Todd's slippery frog juice has gotten kind of all over his face at this point. So he's just like very like glistening, and your claws are just like slipping on the side of his face. But you are able to say all of that to him, and his eyes are dilated, and he's like looking around. He's like, I do need to face myself. Brothers, we need to face ourselves and save them as ourselves. And as he says that, all 3 of them begin to like kind of crumple over and begin to twist and jerk, and their human forms begin to change. And they transform in front of your eyes and underneath you, Todd, as you're hanging onto the side of their face, from something that looks very human to something that looks very reptilian. Something that looks kind of scaly with like long claws and tails and like extended feet. They appear to be like almost like small dinosaurs, like little raptors. And they are holding on to the bags that you had seen earlier, and they are like kind of clutching them in front of their chests, and they're like, we will save them. They're still singing. we will save them, as they're like hugging the bags. And the killer whose face you're on, Todd, is like, we must go brother, quick, change with me, he says, looking at you, Todd. Change back.
Oh, Todd, this is frozen.
Ribbit.
Change, I said, change. He's shaking you a little bit.
I think I'm still stuck.
Yeah.
Even though there's not really an ear anymore, but everything's just sort of tangled up now, I think.
Yeah, you're on some kind of
And-
like head ridge.
Yeah. And I think at this point I would like to use my plant growth
Okay.
magic skill. The way I imagine Todd uses his plant growth is through his thespian abilities, by reciting a beautiful toad poem about the plant that needs to grow. So in this case, it's basically the toad version of what's a Joyce Kilmer poem? I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree. But of course, with Todd, it comes out more like. But the idea is to make a tree grow right now, right here, to encompass and envelop the killer, to trap him. Because I've realized that if these people aren't people, maybe that's why they killed our witch. Maybe that's why they stole the egg.
Give
And I wanna
me
trap them.
I want to say fierce for the physicality of the tree, but I'm open to suggestions.
I'm very low stat compared to everybody else, so I feel like it doesn't matter too much. I think fears, yeah.
Let's go with fears.
I am because I'm using my wonderful abilities to talk and ribbit to encourage nature.
This
Yeah.
game is off the rails, by the way, you guys.
Be like more clever if you're using
There
your
were
words
rails?
to-
Clever. It might be clever.
Maybe clever because like if you're trying to be super inspiring verbal
That's true.
ribbit-ly,
The poem.
Riveting.
Yeah,
Reciting the toad poetry and everything.
I'm
yeah,
into it.
yeah,
clever thing.
Let's do clever. It will be, I'm gonna say probably a challenge, as this is a dinosaur that you're trying to trap with a tree by reciting poetry. I would just like to remind everyone what's happening. What is happening in this game? I love it. With a danger.
Like you do.
So what is
One
what do I need to hit or beat? 'Cause
8.
I've rolled, I'm scared. I rolled a 7, and with clever I have a +1.
Excellent.
With fierce, I
And
will
plus,
not
oh,
attack.
+0 for your cape.
And +0 for my
And
cape.
Plus 0, that's
It
right.
was so helpful.
So that is a
item
success.
Best loot.
So, Todd, as you summon the plant growth that the witch taught you, the vines and kind of roots erupt from the ground. You hear the bartender yell, "Oh, come on!" as a tree kind of busts through the floor of the establishment that is also on fire.
This
And
bartender has had it.
wrap around
What is going on?
this dinosaur. The dinosaur is still on psychedelic drugs and doesn't really understand what's happening, and is just saying, "Mother, mother, I'm coming, mother. We will save them," as he's like wrapped up by this tree. Rodney, you were spying some flammables, and Mossy and Piggy, what's going on with you guys?
I truly don't know how to answer.
Piggy has been on fire for a little while. And so the Piggy kind of comes out from the table on fire and looks across the bar and sees a large roast pig sitting on top of the bar, has an image of what's going to happen to him if he doesn't get this fire out, and decides that he needs to run back outside and roll around in some mud to cool off and maybe calm himself down a little bit. So he's kind of checking out of the situation for the moment to get himself a little out of danger, so that he might have a better head for what might need to happen next.
That is perfect. Remove a point of danger, Piggy. Welcome in, Raiders. I don't even know if I can explain what's happening right now.
Just sum it up.
So to sum up, we're playing The Witch is Dead. This is a Crafts meets TTRPG stream. Our players have crafted wonderful polymer clay figures of their characters. They're hunting the witch killer, the killer of their mother witch. They have kind of cordoned him off and have recently found out that he's not a person, he's a dinosaur. That was a surprise for everyone involved. Someone has just used a cantrip to envelop him in a tree. The entire bar is on fire. Did I miss anything?
We're giving him more deep-seated
Oh, I was
mommy
hitting it up
issues.
that morning though.
Yeah.
And he's on drugs.
And it's a musical.
And he's on psychedelic
Oh, it's
drugs.
a musical.
And
Yeah.
it's a musical.
And they in this moment as you see Piggy run out and roll in the mud and live his best Piggy life despite the chaos inside the bar?
Yeah. Can I try and climb the tree that's trapping the killer?
Yeah.
And to get up to his face and maybe try and save Todd?
Yeah. Give me a fierce roll. It'll be a basic 7. However, there is danger, and if you get a danger point on this, the tree will light on fire.
Cool, yeah, let's do it. Okay. It's an 8 + 1, so 9.
All right. So no flames on the tree, and you're able to scale up to the face of this once human, now dinosaur, trapped within this kind of woody oak apparatus of branches and vines. And Todd is still hanging on to the side of this creature's face. And you're right there with Todd.
Can I just try and slash, like, claw at the eye where Todd... Because Todd's leg was trapped in the eye, was he?
Yes.
Yeah, my foot stuck to the eye.
Distributing
Just-
heavy doses of psychedelic drugs.
Just try and get right in there. Grab the eye, grab Todd's leg.
All right.
2 for 1 special.
Give me another fierce roll as you're trying to drag Todd out and also damage the eye, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Give me a fierce roll. This is a basic 7. Danger is present.
It's a 6 plus 1 is 7.
Nice.
Stress. So
All right.
stressed now.
Mozzie, this is your moment. Describe what happens as you successfully rescue Todd and, I believe, maybe get some hooks in this eye. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah. I think I try and, like, plant one paw on the side of the face and just scoop out the leg and try and get my
Melon
paws
ball.
under the eye. Yeah. Melon ball.
Melon ball the eye.
Just scoop it out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Welcome, Raiders. We are playing The Witch is Dead. And we are animals, and there's some revenge happening right now.
Today we chose violence.
Yes.
Today we absolutely chose that.
This dinosaur loses it. Although they are in a psychedelic trance, the pain is real. They begin to thrash around, but there's nowhere to thrash. They're trapped within a tree. And so, Mozzie, you have the prize. One of the eyes needed to resurrect your witch, your mother, in your little fox paw. It's gross, and you don't want to think about it too much. Little gory, but it's necessary because you think about the woman who raised you, who made you sentient, who gave you magical powers. You think of her beautiful woolen socks on her beautiful legs, lying in the doorway, waiting to be resurrected, and you know you've done the right thing. Todd, you are free. Piggy, you are outside rolling in the mud. What are the avians up to?
I think I'm still like kind of whispering in his ear, and I'm just like, come to mother, hoping he'll just like surrender to the tree and like stop thrashing. Can I try again to like pick out his eye?
Sure, he's immobilized. I will say at this moment though, Rodney, you're watching the other two witch hunters turned dinosaurs scamper out of this tavern. You see the backpacks that they have that talon mark that you now recognize to be the symbol of their own claws, these dinosaur claws. And with their red capes still affixed to their shoulders, they are scampering off into the woods, yelling, "Mother! Mother!" kind of going off into the forest.
Did you say they left the bag, or they are taking them with them?
They took their two, but the killer, the individual that you have immobilized, has his bag still here, and it's on the seat where he was once sitting. Rodney, give me that.
Rodney's
Give me
gonna
that.
look inside this bag.
Oh, sorry, Bon. Give me that fierce roll in the meantime. It's gonna be a basic. He's immobilized. Danger, though.
5 plus 1, so 6. I don't
Okay.
think it passes.
Doesn't pass. Take a point of danger. You scrabble at the eyes, which are still kind of slimy with Todd the Toad's slime. It's really like ice skating at this point, and you're just kind of like scrabbling at the face, and he's like, "Please stop that! Oh! Or give me more of the drugs. I don't know. I can't tell."
Singing in pain.
Rodney, you look in the bag.
Yes.
So
Wanna see
in the
what's going on
bag,
there.
you see a very familiar egg. It's the egg that the witch had on her shelf, a prized possession. You were never allowed to touch it. You recognize it to be the thing stolen from her home. And it is in one of those little claw cases that you saw in the bag earlier.
Well, what I'm wondering is if I shouldn't go ahead and grab it and take it back to the house. Because I feel like Rodney would want his mom to have her egg whenever she comes back, because it seems pretty obvious that like she's gonna come back at that point. He's trapped in the tree and incapacitated fully. I mean, Bonbon's claws keep slipping around, but Rodney knows that she'll figure it out eventually.
So as you kind of take stock of what's in this bag, all of you are suddenly aware that you are surrounded by very angry barkeeps. The person that was yelling about the tree erupting from their floor, some of the people that had been cleaning up and sweeping earlier, some of the servers, they're all surrounding you, and the one kind of crosses his arms and says, "I'm sorry, what is going on? I'm going to... Whose animals are you? What is this?" He says, gesturing to the dinosaur inside an oak tree that has erupted from the floor of his bar. Piggy, one of them actually comes in, one of the servers comes in, like, picking you up by the scruff, had seen you kind of running around in the mud. I found one outside, too! You're all surrounded. It seems like you have just a moment before some of the humans intervene. What do you all do?
I think I'm going to just use my cantrip and try to distract, confuse, wriggle free, and do what I do.
Amazing.
I look over at Piggy and I say, "Piggy, this is your time. Jump, Piggy. Jump like you've never jumped before."
Piggy, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Todd's acknowledgement. Roll quick. I will give you, since you're the quickest of them, and you are literally a slippery pig in a slippery pig
Right
contest.
now, yes.
I'm going to go with a simple 6, but there is some danger.
Okay, here we go. The dice have worked so well today, and I got a 5.
Oh, no! Piggy, unfortunately, mark a point of danger as you try to wriggle away, cast the spell, cast the chaos, and instead you go for the jump. Todd has inspired you, but you can't jump because you're being held and there's no ground beneath you. And so you just kind of fling your body helplessly forward in the air and crash back into the hands of the person holding you. And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing there, little one? Hey, you're kind of cute." And he scratches your belly. What else are y'all doing in this last moment before these humans are closing in and ruining your chances at getting your mother resurrected?
Okay.
The other dinosaurs ran out, right?
Yes, 2 of them left holding bags.
Can
I use...
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was gonna say, can I, as Bonbon, say, "Well, we're their animals. They're the ones that have all the money. Get them." And so to tell them and fly after the dinos, maybe that will convince them that, like, hey, those are the people that are gonna need to pay all the damage fees and deal with insurance.
Those are the non-sentient animals that you want to charge for these damages. Yeah, go ahead and roll clever. I'm going to say this is a 9 difficulty because I don't know if they exactly want you to pay for this so much as maybe, like, eliminate you.
I got a 9 + 2.
Amazing! So the barkeep and all of his staff... they begin to have a very serious discussion amidst the chaos of like, I don't know, I mean, someone's got to be on the hook for all of this, and there's no people around, and everyone left. So, I mean, maybe, I don't know, it's kind of a strange new capitalist system we're working with here. We need someone to blame. The magpie has sense.
And be like, this way, they went this way, this is what they look like. And I'm just gonna try to, also for myself to avoid some, immediate danger of slip and slide FaceTime, and try to lead them out that way.
I almost feel like they feel like you're like throwing voices, and so maybe there's other people in the bar like egging them on. And with the support of the crowd, they begin to get a little like amped up, and they're like, "Yeah, someone's got to pay for this. You're right. Who said that?" Anyway, and from behind the table that had pretty much burned to a crisp, like it's still smoldering, the 2 women who had been enjoying their pie kind of poke their heads out, and they're like, "I mean, for what it's worth, I don't think you should hold anyone accountable. It seems like a lot of accidents, but don't mind us." And they kind of like go back down below the table, and you can see that they're kind of working on some of the pies that had been left behind by the other patrons that left their food. Those gentlemen run out the door. You have, I would say, one more like round action. Those who haven't acted yet, I think Mozzie, Rodney, Todd. You did the first eye, right? Or no, Mozzie did the eye.
I tried to get to the first eye.
You did the slippery eye. Yeah, we'll give you one.
I think
Todd.
in this round of action, I tried to encourage Piggy.
Yes.
That was my job.
Yes. Awesome.
What
So-
I'm wondering is if I can use my cantrip again.
Yeah, I think.
can?
Let's see.
Reach
Can
your
I
hand
try
out.
to use
It's just
Unseen
dangerous.
Hand to remove the remaining eye?
Yes.
Stick an invisible finger behind his eye socket and pop it out.
Yes, you can.
This motion that we're doing.
And while you're doing that, Mozzie, do you have anything to add as you see the hand beginning to summon?
Oh, why am I? I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry.
Maybe can I wait to see if it succeeds?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll fierce plus. Let's do, or not plus, but well, plus a +0 cape from Todd. It's just affecting everyone, obviously.
Right.
Let's have it be a.
Oh, I feel so much confidence since I've come over here. All I needed to do was slam face first into the mirror to gain my confidence back.
That's a lesson a bird has learned, I think, before.
Is the dove still there?
Oh, absolutely. Just kind of cooing above. We'll get to her in a second. Simple 6.
Awesome.
Fierce.
Fuck. It was a 1 plus my fierce, which is 1, so 2.
Oh no. What's your danger?
I have 1 point of danger now.
Okay, so you rolled under your danger. So that means something bad happens to you. So you've used your unseen hand to try to scoop out this eye, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So the game says if you roll equal to or under your danger, you're in serious trouble. Dead, trapped, lost, or captured. So what I will say is, as you use the unseen hand to try to scoop out the eye, the slippery Todd gloop also it glances off and goes up to the chandelier above, where your Lady Love Morning Dove is kind of surveying the scene, waiting for you to come back, as you had promised. So the hand just kind of hits instead into the chandelier chain, and it comes crashing down, and it gets you kind of trapped underneath it. So unfortunately, Rodney, for the rest of this scene, you are trapped inside a chandelier. The good news is that you're there with the Morning Dove. She looks at you, her feathers kind of all sticking out at all angles, and she's like, "Woohoo! You could have flown up."
What can I say? I'm unconventional.
I like that.
Good, I'm glad you like that about me.
Well, I feel like we have some time to get to know each other.
I mean, yeah, sure.
You come here often?
Tell me more about you. You know what? This is my first time.
Oh,
And I have to say, it's been a hell of an impression, that's for sure.
yes, normally we have less dinosaurs, but you know.
Yeah, no, I've never seen a dinosaur before.
Me either.
And there's that, yeah, no, for you Canadians over there.
No worries, no worries.
That's a wonderful callback.
So in this chandelier imprisoned area, Rodney is trapped, but doesn't seem to be in any pain or danger. And actually, you kind of
cool.
you hear some light banter coming from inside the chandelier. Mozzie, finish the job. Todd, finish the job. What are you guys doing? Piggy,
Can I try?
I'll give everyone one more go. Let's rapid fire though. Give me your action, and you can all Avengers style it. So I would love everyone but Rodney, who's having a lovely date inside the chandelier. Give me your Avengers style last move at this immobilized dinosaur.
I just want to try and scoop. Do another scoop.
All right, Mozzie
Yeah,
with the
hi.
scoop. What do you got, Bonbon?
I don't know. I'm like near the door, I guess, because I've been directing people away.
Yeah, I see you
I'm-
flitting around.
Am I just, I don't know, am I the bard in this
I think you are.
bardic inspiration? How
How about this, Bonbon? Because of all of your whisper campaign, I will say the difficulty on all of the other actions is a 6. Because things are kind of easy now.
I've traumatized him.
You've had enough trauma. You've sent those away on a capitalist agenda. So the danger has passed, the immediate danger. So that's a 6 simple for you, Mozzie. Todd and Piggy, what you got in this Avengers pose?
I'm gonna do a super sweet flip jump up to the dinosaur's head and then hold its eyes open like this to give lots of like room and
Maximum scooping area.
Amazing.
Like Clockwork Orange.
Piggy, what you got?
whatever works.
Diving, so following Toad's a jump there, Piggy's going to try to dive towards the chest area of the dinosaur to try and Toad's got the top and Piggy's going for the bottom.
Amazing. All 3 of you give me fierce rolls, simple 6 due to the whisper campaign. Rodney, I hope you're having a lovely date.
It's going swimmingly.
I did. I have a 5 + 1, so I just barely squeaked
Same
by.
thing here, just
Need
the
to be
6, straight up.
Yeah.
I also got a 6.
Amazing.
666.
Heck
The
yeah.
number of revenge!
Fitting way to avenge our witch.
Incredible. Check. Give some love for that. Give some love. That's amazing. I see this playing out exactly as described. It's a freeze frame. So we've got Piggy like kind of hitting the chest. Ooh, says the dinosaur, kind of exhaling heavily, just in time for Todd to grab on and, despite the slime, raise the eyelids back. Mozzie kind of like in a whirl of fire and flame, kind of like in a Vulpix move, like flips up and the flame tail scoops and cauterizes, so that pain is limited, but you have what you need, both goopy gross eyes in paw, as Bonbon's whisper campaign goes through the area, making sure everyone's cleared out and angry at the wrong people. And we'll end on Rodney kind of pulling up near the candlelight around with this chandelier, candlelight all around, with the dove kind of cooing, and she's like, so, I'll see you around then.
Yeah, I would love that.
Do you know any places to get a good tincture? Maybe a better drink than around here?
You know, you can stop by my mom's house anytime. I live with my mom. You know, it's fine. I help her with stuff. It's a mutual arrangement. You know, I'm the assistant in her little apothecary lab. So I
Oh.
can make you something, anything you like, anytime.
She gives you a side eye and like coos and the feathers ruffle, and she's like, a love potion?
For you, baby, anything.
She boops the hat, and with the darkness kind of going over your eyes, the darkness kind of fades over the scene. And in the closing scene of our show, you bring these eyes back to the witch's body, still lying motionless in the door. The woolen socks, the long flowing black hair, the lumps and bumps covering her skin. And as soon as you bring the eyes close, Piggy, you see it first, that halo of light begins to grow and shine around her as magic takes hold. She begins to stir as if waking from a slumber, and sits up and says, "Oh, no, the hair for the egg! No, it's that evil witch, the one that enchants dinosaurs instead of woodland animals. No, 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 protect the egg, please. Oh, it was a dream. Oh, you're all here. You're safe. What happened?"
Whitney has a girlfriend.
I do. I don't remember what her name is. I don't think I ever asked.
You didn't.
I just decided I was in love with her.
The witch smiles and says, "That's how it goes, Rodney. Sometimes that's how it goes." All of you, are you all right? You look
We
flustered.
learned from failure.
That's good, Piggy.
Over and over again, yes.
That's very good.
I just flip my cape dramatically and hop up as high as I can.
Todd, you've been practicing.
Thank you for noticing.
Always very dramatic. And Mozzie?
It's been a long day, but we're home now. And we're together.
Oh, good. Why am I... She looks around in the doorway, and what are these eyeballs?
Revenge.
And with that, the witch is dead comes onto the screen again. Instead of the kind of smoldering, curling black letters, it greens and turns back into lush leaves and trees and greenery. And all of your animals, the little avatars, skitter across the screen as we fade to black on our story. Yay! Thank you all for playing The Witch is Dead. Stick around, chat. We are going to have a chat about the experience of this project, StoryCrafters. We want to hear from our players on what they made, what it was like crafting and playing a game. So for that, I will turn it over to Tech to kind of lead our conversation here. And yeah, would love to hear from you all.
Well,
Thank you,
friends,
AC
first of
Mado.
all, what a fantastic game. What an absolutely chaotic filled game.
I had a blast.
We'll never forget this one for sure. Friends that are definitely leaning towards more tabletop than crafting. Just if we want to go around and do overall thoughts, maybe starting with Rem, of what you thought of pairing, tabletop, which in and of itself is almost a word art, with the more physical form of creativity.
Oh, and be sure to show off your awesome clay
Yes,
animals
please.
to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't
your,
think
your
I'll
beautiful
show
creations.
Make sure you show off that tail, that fancy little tail.
A tail.
So cute.
Ah.
The fire tail.
Oh, is that a butt?
Yeah.
Let me see the butt.
We did, yeah.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
We were all inspired by Tech, I think, by some of your crochet projects.
Do we all have butts? We all have
Yeah.
butts.
Everyone should.
But I don't
I
know how you
mean,
give a bird
I guess
butts.
you could call that a butt, but not
They
quite.
have cloacas. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Ooh.
No butts are involved.
Yeah.
It
but
does
no,
have a snazzy little hat, though.
Yeah. Such a good hat. But no, I thought this was amazing. I had a great time. I think that the whole concept is so cool, and I think that it just plays, the crafting aspect plays really well into, like, there's so many, like, right, tabletop games where you have miniatures and little, like, the little physical representations. I feel like the clay especially was such a cute little, like, way to marry the crafting and the tabletop concepts. So yeah, I thought it was so cute, so fun. I was very excited to play with clay again, which I haven't done since I was like a kid. So yeah, I thought this was amazing. I was very, very pleased to join.
And you consider yourself more of a crafter or an RPGer or a mix of both?
I'm probably more of a TTRPG person.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
excited to play in the crafting sphere.
Awesome, thank you so much. Maybe Scott next?
Sure. So I think what I've taken away from this is inspiration. So I teach game design at a university, and one of the things I'm always looking to do is create opportunities for my students to be able to tap into other ways of demonstrating what they want to show. We focus so much on sort of traditional ways of writing and things like that, but I like to create opportunities for my students to share their stories in different forms of different media. Some of them do that with digital art, and I see this as a way of running something where they'll do it in physical art, where they'll be. So I'm going to be taking what I learned from here and sharing it with them. I did struggle with the crafting part of it, so I do high fire clay and a throwing of pottery and things on a large scale, and I really struggled with the small scale of this. I was okay with the overall form, but then I struggled with details, like silly symmetry. Like I did this one eye, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I spent 2 hours gouging this eye out and trying to rebuild it, and gouging it out again and trying to rebuild it, and gouging it out again and trying to rebuild it, and never did get the symmetry that I was hoping for. So I struggled with that, and I also struggled with the fact that the reason he has black spots all over him is because this stupid tiny little stupid eye, I touched it with my finger, and then I got black on pig, and then I got more black trying to make another stupid eye, and more black, and then I'm like, well, I guess we're just going in. And so then grabbing lots of black and making black spots all over him because of so do you have any advice on, like, is there something I could have used other than trying to make the eye
Rubbing
out of
alcohol.
clay?
So,
How
I
about
mean,
to
if you didn't want to make it out of clay, I mean, there's a couple of options. You could always, make the shape and then paint it afterwards.
Yeah.
What I've seen some people use is in fiber arts. Whenever you make like dolls, they have very very small. You can get small safety eyes. So what
Mhm.
some people do is they get the small safety eyes, the ones that are like 3 millimeters or so,
Mhm.
and they use those in the armature that they build. So when they're building the actual clay around the for example the aluminum foil armature, they have the yes exactly like that. They have the eye already there pushed into the armature with the clay, and then they make like an eyelid, for example, over the top
Mhm.
of it. So that's another way that you could do it. You could also always make 2 black polymer circles, bake them for a very small amount of time, and
That's what I
use
should have done.
those
Yeah,
like
that would have
as
I
your
helped.
have
eyes as
two
well.
examples right here
Oh,
of things that I'm doing. Thank you. So this is the head for my doll that I'm making, my little goblin doll. This
That's
is the
awesome.
head that I'm going to make as sort of like a decorative element just to sit on a desk. Which I decided because I decided that I didn't like these eyes for this doll. But basically what I did was I created the eyes first, and then I pre-baked them and I stuck them in, and then I started sculpting the face around that. Um, Basically when I decided I didn't like the way that the face was turning out, I scrapped it to use the clay for this instead. But I've recently started rebuilding it as like a little just kind of like a little figurine type thing.
That's
But
awesome.
what I'm going to do instead is, instead of doing that with those eyes, is I'm going to basically, once I get this how I want it, I'm going to bake it for the first time before I add the ears and the neck and everything else. And once it's all done and cured, I'm going to paint the eyes instead.
yeah, those have been good solutions because I really struggled with the eyes being soft and then trying to mold an eye socket and eyelids around it, and I kept
then,
deforming the eyes when I tried to make
right,
that. So
it's
The
really
way
easy
to
to
think
do
about
that.
it, I think the easier way to think about it is that any element that you put in polymer clay can always be baked and cured prior to assembly, because you do have like liquid Sculpey and things like that that you can use as an oven baked adhesive to put those parts together.
And also
so
literal oven bake adhesive. Like there's so
Yeah.
many different things.
like I mean, for example, I mean for my bird, the head is completely like a separate part. It was a completely separate head on a wire that I stuck into the body, and then this little like collar part, I formed that afterwards, after it was already the head and the body were already baked, just to cover like the seam. But those you can always do it in sections and parts like that.
okay,
And that's what I've done with her body, is I've like basically what I did was I got the basic shapes down first, and then before I went and added detail, because if I went and added detail right after I'd gotten the shapes how I wanted them, I would lose the shapes. So once you get the basic shape of what you want, that you can consider that your first layer. If it's something a little bit more complicated like that, now like this, you can see also, like this was the first project. This was the first iteration of Rodney that I abandoned when I honestly forgot what day we were doing this, and I realized I hadn't worked on him at all yesterday. So I was like, well shit, this one isn't gonna work out. But
That's really cool.
basically like one of my mistakes that I made here was I did not bake the wings separately first, and that would have made everything so much easier because I could have just attached them later on and like baked everything separately. And so now every time I try to like adjust the body and everything, I
Mhm.
smush the wing, and whenever I try to adjust the wing, I smush the body. So I'm still working on how to fix that. Whereas this is a very simple design, and I was able to do it within an evening. I did it within like the span of 4 hours. Because I mean, we played Dungeons and Dragons last night, and I finished it before our session was over. So, it's just something to keep in mind. And I think also what I was noticing with your pig, it doesn't seem like you had like, were you using like kind of like a lump of polymer to like encourage into the shapes that you wanted, or were you attaching the shapes as you went?
I made the body with foil in the middle, then
Okay.
put a layer around that, and then attach the shapes to the arms and legs to this. But then I ran to what you were just saying. Everything else was done except for the face, because I always struggle with eyes in any medium. And then every time I tried to mess with this, I would mess something else up. And because as you were saying, I should have baked some of those parts separately to let me then lock that in place and be able to focus. And I think if like having baked the eyes separately would really have helped me to be able to shape things around the eyes just like they are. That would have been as compared to just having the eyes continue to get deformed every time I try to shape the eyelids, and then back and forth, and then I got black on everything, and so
I think it's funny we're
And
talking
about
about
that-
eyes in the Witch is Dead game on the figures.
that's true. That's true.
About getting black on other parts though, and I think that the black dots all over the pig make it look more like a pig, in my opinion. Yeah, I like the little black spotches. I think they're cute. But what you could have done to avoid doing that is just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol to get the black off, because it
Okay.
kind of
I keep alcohol wipes. Like
it's like an
Oh.
abrasive. It's an abrasive solution, so it kind of gently takes off that topmost layer of the clay. So like if you ever end up with a head that sits on your desk and you have two cats and it's covered in cat hair, you can, before baking it, take a cotton swab or a cotton ball and just rub off the cat hair or like the random pigment that you got while it was sitting there off. So it looks clean before you put it in the oven.
It's awesome. I want to be conscious of time, so we have 10 minutes left. So would love to hear from, I almost called you Todd, from Amanda and from Ashley on your experiences as well, mashing together two creative outlets. Whoever wants to jump in first.
I am definitely more of a TTRPG player. I play like probably 5 or 6 different games a week, and I don't do very much crafting. It's not really I'm not terribly creative. I'm not terribly artistic. Even when I was a kid, I was just never really, not that I wasn't into it, I just wasn't good at it, so I didn't really do it. I do a fair amount of writing for TTRPGs, and I got some stuff published and stuff like that. So that's sort of my only real creative outlet. So this was a whole new experience for me, going to the art store and trying to explain to the poor clerk what I was trying to get. I just basically showed the list. I'm like, please help. I don't know what I'm doing. So bless Delta Art in Edmonton, Alberta for being wonderful. But yeah, it was really hard. I had to do this like 15 times, and he's still really kind of bumpy and splotchy. It works because he's a toad. But I think he turned out really cute. I like his little butt. Worked really hard on that.
Cute.
Baking it, I wasn't really sure what to do. I wasn't sure like how long do I bake it. I had to Google a bunch of stuff, and even then I was like checking on it constantly because I didn't know what was happening. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I love to learn new things, love new challenges, and ever since we've done this, I've been thinking about different crafts and different ways to include other sort of artistic endeavors in other games that I play a lot, like Trophy, Brindlewood Bay, or something like that. And it's just been really, really fun. Even just think of ideas and such. So this was really inspirational and lovely, and I'm probably going to be doing a lot more fun crafty things if I feel brave.
Yay!
But I feel a lot more brave thanks to your inspiration. Thank you.
That's awesome. Just a
Awesome.
quick plug, Brindlewood Bay was our StoryCrafters before this, and everyone crocheted as an old lady, did some crocheting.
That's amazing.
Nice.
I've been
Love
thinking.
that.
I have a Brindlewood Bay mystery that the Gauntlet published. So if you support the Gauntlet, it's on their Patreon, and it's a bird show mystery. It's called Murder Most Foul. Very silly. It's mostly just bird puns. But I've been thinking about like looking at your clay birds that the two of you have made for this. Like I just keep thinking of that. Like making all the different birds from the mystery would be cute. And yeah, this has just been hugely inspirational.
Heck yeah.
Strongly
And
encourage
like
that.
old lady like church hat.
He's so cute with little birds on it. Oh my gosh.
I'm really, after making this, I feel like I just want to start making tiny birds with hats.
It's so good.
It was so much
Actually,
fun.
If that's the takeaway,
I
I'm
have a
happy with it. I'm
calendar.
happy with it.
Actually, I have a calendar of art that's birds with hats, and I don't know where it is right now, but there's a market for it clearly.
Ashley would love
Right
to
on.
hear from you too on your experience.
I am definitely a little bit of both. I've been LARPing and doing tabletops ever since I was a kid, you know, but I've also been drawing and making things ever since I was a kid. And, like, part of my, you know, clearly part of my process is, like, making the character that I'm playing whenever I do, like, play tabletops, you know. This is Brona Nightglaive, my Goblin Doom Stalker, or no, Gloom Stalker Ranger that I play as on Tuesdays.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was an absolute blast. I had so much fun. I think I really enjoyed playing with y'all as a group. I feel like everybody brought like a really interesting and fun element to the game, and yeah, it was really cool. I would love to be invited to another one of these like time.
Amazing. Well, I am so happy to have played with you all. I just wanted a quick footnote that Amanda had this idea in chat, and I want to make it canon that the two runaway dinosaurs at the end definitely met up with Jeffrey the squirrel in the woods, all ripped, like from the potion, and he beat him up good. So I just think that's some nice closure.
Redemption for Jeffrey.
That's like
Also, I
the
have to
cutscene at the
know,
end
were
of the
the
Marvel
eggs-
movie.
Did the eggs have baby dinosaurs in them?
They did.
Is that what was happening?
Yep.
Okay.
So the dino boys were kind of like you all, but for the Dino Witch, and yeah, witch versus witch battles.
But she was evil.
She was a Dino Witch.
Were dinosaurs literally in there? Did you roll get dinosaurs?
It was more from Tech's Dinosaur Raid Train.
Dino Raid.
Oh, okay. Okay,
That's so good.
It's a deep cut. It's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Tech, I don't know if you want to close us out on anything. I feel like I've been talking a lot, so I'm so grateful for your partnership in this.
Man,
and...
it's almost like you're a game master or something.
I know.
You are an incredible game master, by the way. That
Oh,
was
thank you.
flawless.
So much
An
fun.
absolute masterclass.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And my favorite part had to be the elderly lesbians. Like, it took too long.
Well, I guess, to sum up, thank you all so much for playing. This was absolutely delightful as always. Allison, thank you so much for being my partner in crime, for putting this together, and us being able to organize this. And if anyone ever, if you think of additional points of feedback that you think of later on, please feel free to message either of us. If you have suggestions, and this also goes for chat, if y'all have suggestions for crafts that you want to see, tabletop games that you might want to see us play that are like one-pagers and extra chaotic, you have seen the vibe. So yeah, just thank y'all so much, and it's, because of awesome players like y'all that we get to have these really cool multimedia experiences.
Heck yeah.
And I think we were kind of aiming for every couple of months, right, Allison?
Mhm.
For running another StoryCrafters. So look out on both where you find Allison and where you find me, to see when the next round of applications and such are gonna be going out.
100%. Thank you so much, everyone. Y'all are awesome. I dropped socials and chats, so you can find the old episodes on YouTube. And then, yeah, as Tech mentioned, keep a lookout for applications going forward and give us your suggestions. We will raid out into another RPG stream. So stick around for that raid and support the next stream. But thank you all. We will be putting your links in chat as well so people can follow you all, wonderful players. Have a great night, and long live the witch.
Long live the witch. Good night, friends.
Bye, all.
Good night.